Fridays is open phones on the program. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. All right. Here we go.
Game Show with Brian Craig.
All right, it sure is. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio this year. That's right. And man, do we have a lot to talk about on the program today. It may be a holiday weekend, but hey, these evildoers in the Democrat Uniparty conglomerate in Washington, D.C. don't take a day off. You might think they do, but they don't. And we've got a lot to cover today. We're going to get into a whole bunch of things and your calls. And since this is Friday, of course, on Fridays, it is open phones on the program. And that means, you can call in about anything and everything you have on your mind. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, anything is fair game, anything and everything you have on your mind. You're not limited to the topics that we bring up here on the program. I'm going to bring up a lot of things that are important, and I hope you have an interest in commenting on them, but you don't have to talk about what I bring up on today's program. You can bring up your own topic, and that's something we only allow on Fridays. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. All right, now I want to talk though here in the beginning about something that's going on with Candace Owens. Okay, and this story is getting all kinds of publicity from Candace Owens. Candace Owens has a serious problem. She tried to hire an interior decorator for her mansion, and they wouldn't decorate her home. Oh my goodness! You know who the interior decorator is in my house? My wife and me, but mostly my wife. I just go with her and say, okay, that's what we do, right? Who's your decorator? Oh man, who's your decorator? Rooms to go? That's mine. Maybe IKEA, little IKEA going on. But I want to read this story, and I want to tell you what is really going on here. All right, and this is a very important story that I'm going to share with you. And you may not think it's important at the beginning, but when I'm done, you will. All right. So this is being widely reported. I'm sure it's been on television. Candace Owens has revealed that interior designer David Netto told her husband he would rather get beat in the blank, the rear end, with a wooden plank than work on their Nashville home. Conservative commentator Candace Owens said her husband, British businessman George Farmer, wrote the most polite email approaching the interior designer and complained that his response would be deemed unacceptable if it had been sent to a black liberal. Keep in mind, Candace Owens' husband's white, so he's speaking for black people here. Candace Owens, the mother of two, age 33, recounted the spat in a lengthy interview with Vanity Fair, in which Candace Owens spoke about her media career as an outspoken black Republican, her changing views on Donald Trump, and even a potential run for office of her own. The firebrand sparked controversy at Paris Fashion Week when she tweeted a picture of her and Kanye West wearing White Lives Matter t-shirts. That's important to this story too, which I'll get to. The incident thrust Candace Owens into the limelight and preceded the musician's descent into anti-Semitic rants on the Twitter. Candace Owens was criticized for failing to condemn Kanye on her Daily Wire show, which has 1.5 million subscribers and airs as a podcast on YouTube. It goes on and on. Candace Owens spoke of the interior designer, this Netto's, hostile reaction after she was treated kindly by Nashville locals, and even spoke of a positive encounter with Kamala Harris at the airport, whom she described as very nice. Owens said she approached the vice president, adding, "I can't help myself," I told her. This is Candace talking to Kamala. "I told her I wasn't going to vote for her, and she was like, yeah, okay, I understand. It was a very nice conversation," says Candace Owens. Candace and her husband reached out to this interior designer, Netto, It was written on design for the New York Times after the couple saw his work on their friends' homes that I call mansions. Candace writes, my husband wrote the most polite email because he's always polite. He's very English. We didn't know if we could afford a designer or anything. She said Netto wrote back, Dear George, thank you for your inquiry. I'd rather get beat in the blank. He uses profanity for the rear end with a wooden plank than go near either of you. Kind regards, David. Owen suggested that if a white conservative male had sent the brutal put down to an outspoken black liberal, he would have lost everything. Well, he's probably right about that. Netto told Vanity Fair, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I don't need to go into this. Okay. Now, it's very difficult for me to be concerned that Candace Owens is having difficulty hiring an interior designer, but there's more to the story here. There's much more to the story here. This is a really sad and pathetic move by Candace Owens. See, a while back, and I'm going to play this audio after the first break because I don't have time to play it now. We're a little bit away from a break. But Candace Owens, a while back, pulled what I'm going to describe as a DeSantis move. She trashed President Trump. Okay? Candace Owens, she went out with Kanye West. He made all those anti-Semitic comments. She defended Kanye West. And then she went out and trashed President Trump in a very nasty way. And I'm going to play the audio of that when we get back from the break. But here's what's going on with Candace Owens. Candace Owens is the most successful troll in the history of social media and the internet. What Candace Owens does is get in online conflicts with celebrities, and then they respond, and then she gets all kinds of publicity and gets more famous. And I suspect that many of you, like me, because of the disgusting comments, which you're going to hear shortly after the break, that Candace Owens made about President Trump, that a lot of people have stopped watching her show and interacting with her on social media, and she's taken a big hit like Ron DeSantis has in the polls, which we're going to get to later on. So what she's doing here is she's playing the race card, playing the victim card against this liberal to try to get MAGA people to start watching her show again over at the Daily Wire. It's a scam, okay? And there's one other thing I want to add, but first, we're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action.
Candace Owens is so full of it, okay? So full of it. You know, do you guys agree with me? Candace is just trying to get MAGA back on her side. Does it sound like that's what she's doing? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, well, she got off the Trump train. She's not getting back on. All right, we're not letting her back on. Now, listen, guys, we have a sponsor on today's video here on YouTube, and I pinned the link right at the top of the chat. Hyrax4ax.com. If you could click that link and just check it out to let them know that you're interested in things I share with you, that'd be great. So they're the sponsor of today's program, Hyrax4ax. And if you could just, it's pinned right there in the chat. If you could just click that link and just check it out, I'd appreciate it. And of course, it's about Forex trading, and they got a great company that knows all about Forex trading, and it's a great group of experts in Forex trading. But even if you're not interested in Forex, just click the link, check it out to let them know that you support things that I share with you all. That would help me and them out greatly. Yeah, I think she's completely full of it, Candace Owens. Completely full of it. And she's not going to win me back. We'll get to it. Don't worry.
Experience awe-inspiring landscapes and traverse the great Canadian Rocky Mountains on the Rocky Mountaineer Train with bi-level glass stone coaches, August 15th through the 20th. The only
One more commercial after this, and we'll be back.
Historic railroad connecting Canada from east to west. Are you ready to embark on this unforgettable journey? Head to BrianTrain.com and request a brochure. Book your spot now and make memories that will last a lifetime. That's BrianTrain.com and request your brochure. A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Uh-oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy.
And I got the audio of Candace all queued up and ready to go. Well, she was a never Trumper when the campaign first started in 2016. I've never trusted Candace Owens. All right, we're coming back after this.
Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. Make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian Craig. It is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. So let me get back to what Candace Owens is pulling here. So a couple months back, Candace Owens just trashed Trump in a terrible way, which I'm going to play for you in a few moments. But I want to finish up on what's going on here. Candace Owens used to be a never Trumper. After Trump came down the escalator, she was a never Trumper. She said she was red-pilled later on. I think the red pill came with, if you're black and you're conservative, you get lots of views, hits, and clicks. And that's done well for her. I mean, she's very successful and everything else. But she went over there to the Daily Wire, which has a lot of never Trumpers over there, like Ben Shapiro. And when she went to the Daily Wire, I predicted on the air that that would be the end of Candace Owens. And sure enough, it pretty much is. So she went on this rant, really nasty rant against Donald Trump, and she lost a lot of MAGA support. And what Candace Owens does to get popular is she trolls celebrities, okay? She trolls celebrities. You've seen her do this on social media, and then she gets talked about in the media. And now she's doing it with this interior designer, and she's attacking this interior designer. He wouldn't do the interior design work for her home because she's a black conservative. Oh, yes, and she's very upset about this. I believe it's a troll activity. I believe it's a move for her to try to get back on the Trump train, right? She tore up her ticket. She got off the train, and she pulled this Ron DeSantis move, and she's not welcome back on, and we're not going to fall for it, Candace Owens, all right? Once a never Trumper, always a never Trumper. She started as a never Trumper, then she got red-pilled, and then she trashed President Trump. So that's it for me. I always say, never trust a never Trumper. That's right. Even if they act as if they are on the Trump train, because sometimes they slip, right? Like Candace Owens did. So, yeah, that's just it. Now, one thing before I play the audio. So Candace Owens is telling us that something's wrong here, that this interior designer is refusing to do work on her home. I tell you, that's a tough problem. I tell you, I know it's hard to go through life when interior designers won't design your home. My wife and I, we go to IKEA, we go to Rooms to Go, and that's fine. Been fine for us, our whole marriage. But anyway, what was Candace Owens' position on the bakers, the Christian bakers that wouldn't bake the gay wedding cake? I imagine, like all of us conservatives, Candace Owens' position was the Christian bakers should not be required to bake the gay wedding cake, that people, when they have a business, should be able to refuse service to those who don't align with their values, their morals, right? So this liberal interior designer, well, he's just doing what the Christian bakers were doing when they refused to bake the Christian or the gay wedding cake, right, Candace Owens? So let me play this audio. this is Candace Owens in her despicable attack on President Trump. She did this on her program on the Daily Wire. This was a few months back. I played it at the time, and that was, I don't even know. I may have unfollowed her on Twitter. I'm not sure if I bothered to do that or not.
Trump actually got upset with me because, and here's the great irony, the richest irony, the Daily Beast ran a headline regarding that live Instagram that you just heard from me. And the headline was, Candace Owens says Trump is pro-vax because he's too old to understand the internet. I never once called Trump too old. I never once said that Trump could not understand the internet. And yet somehow he got that information and believed it to be true. He thought that I said that he was too old and that he couldn't understand the internet and did not quite get the information that actually what I was saying was a defense of him so that his supporters would still believe in him. Not only was he just mad, by the way, he then, during a golf session with some mutual friends of ours, had a person next to him who was egging this on, saying to Trump, and I know this because, again, this is a mutual friend, aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? And eventually he was like, yeah, I'm so mad at Candace. I'm so mad at Candace. And this got back to me that he was upset with me, that he was angry at me. And the next time that I saw him, he was quite rude to me.
Oh, my goodness. Now, what does rude? President Trump was quite rude to me. Well, I don't know what she means by that. Does it mean that he was busy with the weight of the world on his shoulders because he was president? Or was this after his first term and they're indicting him and trying to arrest him and he's dealing with all that stuff? But he was quite rude to Candace Owens means you don't sit down and say, oh, Candace, what do you think about this? What should I do? You're the oracle of all knowledge. What does she mean? He was rude to me. Very vague. Let's go back.
Mad at Candace. Aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? And eventually he was like, yeah, I'm so mad at Candace. I'm so mad at Candace. And this got back to me that he was upset with me, that he was angry at me. And the next time that I saw him, he was quite rude to me. He was actually rude to me. I'm telling you this personal story because I think it is something that made me for the first time question him as a person.
Wow. Because he, sometimes people are having a bad day or they've got something on their mind, or maybe they treated Candace. Donald Trump is so famous and everything his whole life. Celebrities don't impress him much. So maybe he didn't treat her like a diva celebrity. And she considers that being rude. But listen, I mean, she's just getting really nasty here.
Upset with me, that he was angry at me. And the next time that I saw him, he was quite rude to me.
He was quite rude to me. Oh, my goodness. He's under constant investigation. They're breaking into his home. They're arresting him. They have women in the porn business making false claims against him. He was rude to me. Oh, well, Candace Owens. Well,
Candace, aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? And eventually he was like, yeah, I'm so mad at Candace. I'm so mad at Candace. And this got back to me that he was upset with me, that he was angry at me. And the next time that I saw him, he was quite rude to me. He was actually rude to me. I'm telling you this personal story because I think it is something that made me for the first time question him as a person.
Wow. So she's questioning Trump's integrity as a person. She's questioning him as a person. Who is she to question him? I remember when she was just on Periscope making videos. Now, all of a sudden, President Trump is supposed to sit down and listen to the wisdom that is Candace?
Quite rude to me. He was actually rude to me. I'm telling you this personal story because I think it is something that made me for the first time question him as a person. So you have an individual that spent years defending you, right? And that individual gave you a completely kind and fair interview. You said something yourself that your base didn't like, and you somehow transformed that into something that I did wrong. That's unacceptable. That is not being a leader. That is not.
Wow. So Candace Owens is telling President Trump what is acceptable and what is not acceptable for him. Oh, wow.
You said something yourself that your base didn't like, and you somehow transformed that into something that I did wrong. That's unacceptable. That is not being a leader. That is not owning things that you did wrong. That is not owning that you misunderstood something about your base. That's not growing. That's not developing. In fact, he should have tried to understand why the base was so upset with him. But at that moment, I realized that he's not listening. Who is this guy next to him trying to egg him on to be angry at me for trying to defend him, say that he's not a shill, to say,
wow, he wouldn't listen to Candace Owens and take her advice. So now do you see what I mean? This interior designer story is a troll act to try to get MAGA people, try to get Trump supporters back watching her program and following her and interacting with her. Don't buy it, all right? She's a troll. She pulled this Ron DeSantis move. She trashed Trump. And now she's trying to trick us and support her again. Don't fall for it. And by the way, why is she telling us what a great person Kamala is in this Vanity Fair interview? Vanity Fair hates Trump, very liberal. And she's a married woman. Kamala Harris sleeps with married men, right? Willie Brown's girlfriend. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. You're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, South Florida. First morning meteorologist Vanessa from WPF 25 News. Temperatures now in the mid to upper 70s with a quick shower in the forecast. Later on this afternoon, we'll see a mix of sunny clouds. Temperatures still warm in the low to mid 80s. Over the weekend, rain chances will be increasing on Saturday into your Sunday.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Good morning. Be on the lookout for two separate accidents. The first one southbound on I-95, just north of 6th Avenue South. The other accident was at Morris Boulevard and Report is sponsored by the Crohn and Colitis Foundation. That's traffic. I'm Zach.
Traffic is service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. Lots of exciting events at PBKC with the Poker Room's $100,000 guarantee Monster Multi-Flight Tournament.
Let's see here. Be right back, guys. I need something to write on. Hey guys, sorry, I gotta take care of some business while I'm on the commercial break.
1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
Henry's Beef and Wine Company, family owned, family operated. Like Ronald's great one himself is in the kitchen. Amazing pizza, sizzling Philly cheesesteaks, lobster ravioli, subs, and much more. Live music, patio seating, and 2-for-1 on all beer and wine for ladies' night every Wednesday. Come visit us today at Anne Marie's Pizza and Wine Company, your local family-owned Italian restaurant. Anne Marie's Pizza and Wine Company, located on the corner of Copus Road and Federal Highway. That's Copus Road and Federal Highway, right next to the movie theater. Anne Marie, we'll see you here.
Now back to
Oh, that was quick.
celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, we are back, and that's what's going on with Candace Owens. But we'll take some calls, and remember, it is Friday. Open phones, any and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Friday. You're not limited to just the things I bring up. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Jeff from Maine.
Oh, hey Jeff, what's up?
Hey, when she was with Charlie Kirk, and remember she was called up on the Senate floor and she blasted them. They tried to trip her up and she sounded so conservative, got on the Trump train, but all of a sudden something happened to her and it's popularity. She was just another rhino, so, like the establishment Republican saying what it needed to be said to get followers, but her true colors come out and she trashed Trump and she went down a road that opened up the charade of what she really is, and she's done.
Yeah, that's right. And this is just a way to get publicity and hopefully get back on the Trump train and trick us, forgetting about this other thing. There's no way that those terrible things, she questioned Trump as a human being, as a man. It's pretty bad, as a leader. Pretty bad stuff over because she didn't get the proper celebrity diva treatment. So there's no doubt in my mind she's had to take a big hit on the views and things she gets on her program from MAGA people no longer following her because of what she did.
And she used to be tough as nails, and now she's playing the woe is me card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So tough, and now we're just seeing her true colors.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so you agree with me? It's a desperate move.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brian, I hope you have a great weekend and God bless everybody.
All right, take care. All right. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike.
All this Candace Owens is a troll. She trolls for everything. She trolls these Hollywood people. She trolls. Now she's trolling MAGA.
That's right. That's right.
That's how she is. I mean, when she sold out to the Daily Wire guys, she sold out. She sold her soul to the devil.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, I thought when she was very effective. She had that Blexit thing that she was doing, but it got canceled because of the lockdowns and everything. And when she went to the Daily Wire, I was pointing out that Ben Shapiro and others at the Daily Wire, but Ben Shapiro is the face of it, there's a never Trumper. He's a never Trumper, Ben Shapiro. And I talked at the time, I said what they're doing is they're taking this very important MAGA voice and hiring her away. She got married, she's having a kid, now she got two, offered her a big deal, a lot of money and everything. And the purpose is to take her out of circulation promoting Trump. And then a couple months ago, what I just played for you before the break happened, and mission accomplished on their part.
Yeah, mission accomplished, and that's the thing. I mean, but she's not the first one to do this. I mean, look, think about it. There was a time when Ann Coulter was a full-throated Trump person,
Mm-hmm.
She turned again. So Candace Owens is not the first person, to do this. So yeah.
Well, Ron DeSantis just did it.
Yeah, I mean, look, and before I knew that he had ties to the Bushes, that would have surprised me that he did do it.
Yeah. Well, we got to, listen, we got to watch out for this fake MAGA, and it can really trip you up. I mean, look at how close we came with Ron DeSantis.
And think about this. The governor of Texas has done some pretty good things, but remember he didn't show up at that rally in Waco, you know?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. Hey, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. All right. Our number 1-888 go Kane 1. And speaking of DeSantis, listen to this. You know, the Reuters poll between Trump and DeSantis is often quoted. And things are really falling apart for Ron DeSantis. Listen to this. This is the Reuters poll, the last three. In March 20th, poll, right? The furthest back I'm going is March 20th because that's when stuff after that started to happen. Trump was always ahead, but listen to this trend. On March 20th, Trump versus DeSantis, President Trump had a 14-point lead over Ron DeSantis on March 20th. On April 3rd, he had a 29-point lead over Ron DeSantis, President Trump. And in the latest Reuters poll, which is April 6th, he now has a 37-point lead over Ron DeSantis, President Trump, in the same poll from Reuters. Pretty amazing, huh? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
All right. How are you? Oh, hey, Maria.
I'm pretty good. Yeah, that is so good. You showed the clip of Candace Owens, because I was like really, when I heard her a couple of months ago, and she was like really upset, like Donald Trump over something, and I was saying to myself like, wait a minute now. Donald Trump is the one that brought you to the table. He was the one that gave you a voice. Nobody cared about you. Nobody even really.
That's a good point.
Attention to you. And you went on this rant about him, and you really went to a point where it was very disgusting to me.
In fact, Trump made her rich and famous to the point where she's living in a big house and hiring interior decorators.
Exactly. And and then I was listening yesterday too. I was listening to these two congressmen, Chip Roy and I forgot the other one name in Florida, and he was saying that they basically blaming Donald Trump because he didn't drain the swamp. I was like, wait a minute now. You guys looked there why you didn't help it.
Yeah, exactly.
We do it.
See what happened with President Trump in his first term had to deal with something that no president has had to deal with. Presidents all the time have to deal with the other party controlling Congress opposing them, right? Like right now, Republicans control the House, so Biden, thankfully, has the House standing up against him. He can't get anything else done. What President Trump had, he didn't just have the Democrats against him, he had the Republican establishment against him. And the Republicans controlled both houses of Congress in his first 2 years. And Mitch McConnell and that snake Paul Ryan held up everything he was trying to do. So, and who would have thought that the Republican president would have opposition from his own party trying to fulfill the Republican Party platform like he was doing?
Yeah, and it's so sad when I hear people, when I hear them say stuff like that. I just say to myself, you guys are such a betrayer. You guys been on this role of not supporting him, but you claim you were supporting him. Now that Ron DeSantis is on this little taxpayer what they call it, conference that he's having, you guys are all up on his tail. But trust me, he won't prevail. He won't win. Donald Trump gonna beat the mess out of him. President Donald J. Trump gonna beat him bad. And if he stays in the race, or if he even try to say he's running, good luck, because it ain't gonna be nothing good for you.
Yeah, I mean, Ron DeSantis, like Candace Owens, these people that betray us because, we support them, we vote for them, we support their content, like with Candace Owens, and then they betray Trump, they're done. They're done. We can no longer trust them. Ron DeSantis, I do not believe Ron DeSantis will win another election ever. He just won his last election, his re-election for the governor of Florida, because he hadn't tipped his true identity to us yet.
Yeah. He's really bad. I listened to some of his clips. I don't listen to his clips no more, but I was, And when I see him out there like that, and he won't even, I mean, the thing it is, you wouldn't even support him at all when his house got raided. You didn't support him then. And then you come out here and do some, I would say maybe a 1%
Yeah. Yeah.
support. Come on, get out, get up out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, what do you think? I mean, when I hear Candace Owens question Trump as a person, as a man, and as a leader, I mean, who does she think she is?
I don't know, but I know she's upside down. Because
Mm.
like you said, when you get when the man supports you and put you on that pedestal, just like he did Diamond and Silk, they had their little thing going on, but they didn't have it all. And Donald Trump gave them a platform, and not only gave them a platform from this day forward, they have always supported that man. So I look at people like that, like me, like you know, that you stand by the person that you support.
Yeah.
Ban them because they in the distress or they going through something. But when you see all these people attacking this one man, you know this man got the goods. You know this man know what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been out there longer than me and you both have been.
That's right. That's right.
You can't dispute who this man is. And when you try to tell his character, that's where I got a problem at.
Yep. All right. All right, Maria. Thanks for the call. See, here's the thing. You know, there's the MAGA movement, especially now with everything that happened this week. This isn't about one issue or that issue or this issue. What we have going on in this country, it's a lot like the Hunger Games. I use this comparison a lot of times. Remember the Hunger Games? I never read the books. I like the movies, except that one. They made one too many. They could have done the last two in one. But anyway, in the Hunger Games really is a very conservative film series. Okay. You've got all it takes place in the future United States, you know, and you've got all of the country being oppressed by those in the capital. Now, the capital in the Hunger Games is in Colorado, but it's really they mean Washington, D.C. The Hunger Games is about the government control over this country. It really is a very conservative film. If you go back and watch it with that in mind, you'll see it if you don't already. And what the Trump movement, the MAGA movement, is about is for the people of America to be able to have a say in our own country and what happens in our country. Not a bunch of corrupt bureaucrats and elected officials who are selling out to China, the military-industrial complex, pushing us to a war with Russia. Which is fake. You understand what I'm saying here? It's not about one issue or two issues, or she didn't get treated the way she thought she should have been treated. It's about a movement of taking our country back from the donors and these foreign influence peddlers that have bought off our entire government in Washington. And you know, and of course the control the deep state have over us. And if Candace Owens can't see that, well, I guess you can't see much when you're so obsessed with yourself. All right, we're going to take our last break of the first hour. I'm Brian. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. Back after this.
The Cold.
Okay. Now, listen, guys, we have a sponsor on today's video, and I put their link right there pinned to the top of the chat, Hyrax Forex. And, of course, they're involved in Forex. And click the link and check it out. Even if you're not interested in Forex or don't know anything about it, check it out, take a look, and let them know you support things that I share with you all. It helps me out, helps them out, and helps you all out because it allows me to expand and do more. But it's Hyrax Forex, and I pinned the link right there at the top of the chat. Yeah, we'll talk about the Tennessee reps as well. I'm here till 9. When I come back, I'm going to take some more calls because it is open phones. Have you guys all checked out the link? If you would, I would appreciate it. Oh no, I'll never walk away from Trump either. I'm with Trump for life. I got the Dunkin' Donuts Americano ice with cream. It is awful, and it cost $1 more than the one at Starbucks. It's more expensive than the Starbucks one. I was shocked. I went there today because I was running late. No, it's Americano with cream. It tastes awful. I think I might wake up more just from the shock of the bad taste. I just left the house a little late. I was doing some work at home and I lost track of time and left the house a little late today. Didn't have time for my normal coffee. All right. Yes. Welcome back, everyone. I was just listening to Friendly Mike from Friendly Tire talking. He has the lowest prices on new and used tires you'll find anywhere. And I was over there yesterday getting a repair. One of my tires, the sensor came on and it was low on air. And Friendly Tire in Margate, they do tire repairs, which other places don't do. You go to these other tire, oh, we don't do repairs. We just sell new tires. Yeah, but I just have something in my tire. No, we don't do repairs. It's like all these tire shops around have just come to this fake agreement that they have this policy. But Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire does repairs. I had 2 pieces of metal in my tire, my rear right tire. And I think when I was up with all of our MAGA friends up at Mar-a-Lago the other day, that's when it happened. And yeah, I think some liberals threw some metal. And I'll tell you why I think that. The last time I went up there for a MAGA rally at Mar-a-Lago, the same thing happened to me. So there's a pattern now. It's happened twice, and it's the same kind of metal, these little tiny pieces. I don't know for a fact, but I know the last 2 times I went to a MAGA rally up at Mar-a-Lago, I drove away with pieces of metal in my tires. But I got it repaired yesterday at Friendly Tire in Margate. And, I have bought 3 sets of new tires over the last couple months at Friendly Tire in Margate. My wife's car, my car, and my daughter's car. And, it used to be buying tires was something I really dreaded. You can afford them at Friendly Tire in Margate. The prices are so great. He's got all the name brands you know and love. I got Firestone for my daughter's car. I got the Run Flats for my wife's car. And on my car, I got the SUV tires, which it runs much better on those SUV tires than the regular tires. Wherever you're located, it is worth the drive to Friendly Tire in Margate. The prices are that good. But before you go, call him. Friendly Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. And remember, the price that he quotes you over the phone is out the door and on the road. And what I mean by that is this. He doesn't have any added charges to the price he quotes you over the phone. He doesn't charge you to balance the tire, dispose of your tires. He doesn't charge you to mount the tires. So, yeah, the price he quotes you is out the door and on the road. Here's the number, 954-977-9445. He's also open on Saturdays, including the Saturday before Easter tomorrow. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Good morning. You're on the air. Good morning. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's James. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
All right, James.
Now, I want to say something, and I know you might agree with me. If you have a grievance, you do it like Democrats do it. They don't go crushing their people out in the open. They do that stuff back door. And with Candace Owens, she had agreement with Donald Trump. I'm pretty sure she could have got a private meeting with him to discuss any grievance she had.
Yes.
That stuff out there, and that's the problem with us as MAGA. We don't stick together, but those Looney Tune characters in that party stick together, and they don't ever throw us under the bus.
Well, no, what there's a lot of fake MAGA. Okay, Candace Owens was a never Trumper when the campaign first started in 2016. There's a lot of fake MAGA out there.
Too.
Yeah, and
the thing about it is what people don't understand. Even the people that didn't vote for Trump, his policies work for everybody. This man is going through hell for us. I don't know no politician that ever went through this, and he could have quit at any time.
Yep.
Going through it for us. That is not a selfish person.
And they even arrested him.
Yeah, and he's still fighting.
Yep.
Himself for us. He got billions of dollars. He don't need to go through this.
And yep.
Because he loves the people.
That's right. Now you're calling me from Pennsylvania. Of course, you've got Senator Fetterman on your side.
Oh yeah, we got a dead senator.
Yeah.
You know who people should have stood behind? They should have stood behind Kathy Barnett.
Yeah.
What you call them? The rhinos and the fake MAGA people pushing eyes when he should have pushed Kathy Barnett. Kathy Barnett would have crushed the abortion rhetoric.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But they told Trump go with Oz. I knew Oz was no good. I knew he wasn't no good.
Mm-hmm.
They put him through anyway.
Yep. Yep.
We would have had Kathy Barnett.
It's pinned in the chat. Right now. It's pinned in the chat.
Because she was a perfect candidate to crush that abortion rhetoric.
Yeah, that's right. And you've got and now what do you have? You have a brain dead senator in Fetterman that the Democrats on MSNBC are actually talking about running for president. Can you believe it?
And let me tell you, I work for a state university owned by the state in Pennsylvania, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, I found out that my daughter goes to school where I work at, and me and my daughter's on lunch, and I found out they're teaching her gun control and abortion rhetoric in college.
Wow.
What college I work at? I seen Fetterman stuff all over the campus when he was running. I said, this is a woke liberal college, and I already said I intend to. I got my 47, 45 MAGA hat, and don't be surprised if you see me on the news, because I'm going to wear my MAGA hat on this campus. Because if they can promote that bull crap on this campus, I can wear my MAGA hat.
Absolutely.
Because I would take them to the Supreme Court.
You know, another thing too, I keep hearing like from Black Lives Matter and liberals that the justice system is racist against Black people, and it benefits it benefits rich white people. If that is true, how did a Black man in New York arrest a white president of the United States this week? If all that's true,
I got another one that crushes it. Who keeps the Democrats in office?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Black people.
Yep.
Black vote. If they lose,
yep.
That's why they try to get these illegal.
Yep.
They know in the next 10 years the black vote is going to be gone. But you know what? If you go to Malcolm X, if you go find that speech and go to Malcolm X, this is what, because I'm Black, and you could go to get this speech now. You would thought Malcolm X was alive today. He said, if you vote Democrat, you are a traitor to your race.
Yep.
You go listen to that speech, you would have thought Malcolm X was a Republican today, and you would have thought he was alive. Just like Frederick Douglass was a modern Republican. Frederick Douglass would have been MAGA today because he represents the Republican values that Trump is doing right now.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, you're a great caller. You're a great caller, and I hope to hear you again. And it's a very true story that every Black man who was lynched in America was lynched by a Democrat, and every Black man who was lynched was a Republican. And that's a fact. And the Democrats have successfully covered that truth up, haven't they?
Yeah, we got to push it out. We got to push that Frederick Douglass was a Republican.
That's right.
And all of these values that the Democrats try to take credit for was there. Jim Crow was them. Redlining was them. The Ku Klux Klan was a Democrat. The
That's right.
founder of it. The party of slavery. That is the party of slavery. That is the party of oppression. And when you seen it in 2020, they brought back those slavery roots when Joe Biden issued that declaration to take our jobs if we didn't get his shot.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Well, again, welcome to the program, and I hope to hear from you again.
All right.
All right. Well, great caller right there. All right. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Yeah, I want to throw this out to our liberal callers, in particular, our liberal callers of color. If the American justice system is racist against blacks and benefits rich white guys, how did a black man in New York with trumped up charges arrest a rich white man who also was president of the United States? If that's true, seems the justice system's working a little differently than they're promoting it to us. All right, good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Cynthia Lucas, and I live in Martin County, and I have the Tea Party up here. I just wanted to tell you I'm so proud of what you're talking about as far as Candace Owens is concerned. Long ago in 2016, might have been early 15, President Trump came to our Tea Party convention in South Carolina, and Joe Dugan, who ran that, convention, he's passed away since then. He brought in Donald Trump, and everybody there was sort of like a Ted Cruz supporter, and Ted was there. Donald ran away with it. Everybody loved him. We supported him. And just so you know, early on when we started the Tea Party, Donald Trump paid for a lot of the venues in Palm Beach County for the leader back then.
Wow.
Been around the Tea Party for a long time. Now, just to back up a little bit, he was so good at that convention that so many people, when they came back to Florida, all over the country there were people, but when they came back to Florida, we all got together, and there was quite, there were still people who supported Ted, but they all came along. The next thing that happened is Ann Coulter, back in the day, she supported Mitt Romney. She came to the Fort Lauderdale Tea Party, and this is when Danita was alive, and Jack had.
Oh, you go way back.
Yeah, and I basically said to her, what are you thinking? And then she was like, well, then she backed away from Romney, and she became a Trump supporter. Well, and
Ann Coulter was never a Trump supporter. She was with Ted Cruz. She's always been a never Trumper. And listen, I got to run because we're coming up on the break. But thanks for the call from thank you, from MAGA Martin County on the Treasure Coast. We love MAGA Martin County. The most pro-Trump county in America is Martin County, Florida. That's where Stewart, Florida is, if you want to look it up on the map. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. Steve Kane will be joining us, and it is open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Any and everything you have on your mind is fair game. All right. At 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. That's 888-465-2631. And I got a lot of other things to touch on, too, that we have not gotten to yet. But we'll get to everything between now and 9 a.m. And if you're new to the program, welcome. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach.
Be right back, guys.
Broadcasting from the Rome Studio. Injured recently? Call the Rome's Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Rome's winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the Oldies forecast.
Good morning, South Florida. First morning meteorologist Vanessa and 27 PF 25 news. Temperatures now in the mid to upper 70s with a quick shower in the forecast. Later on this afternoon, we'll see a mix of sunny clouds. Temperatures still warm in the low to mid 80s. Over the weekend, rain chances will be increasing on Saturday and Sunday. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach.
Yeah, so the link I was asking you guys to check out is Hyrex Forex, about Forex trading. I pinned it at the top of the chat. And so if you could click that link and check it out, I'd appreciate it. You know, if you're interested in Forex, it's a great resource for you. But if you're not, still check it out just to let them know that you guys are interested in the things I share with you on the program. It would help me out, helps you out, helps them out, helps us all. There you go. Thanks, Rome. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. And if you could share it on your social media, all your socials, that would be great too.
President Barack Obama tweeted what happened in Tennessee was the latest example of a broader erosion of stability and Israeli forces take part in the Gaza Strip retaliating after a Palestinian group was launching 36 rockets from Lebanon into Israel.
I appreciate all that. Thank you. Yes, it is Good Friday. This Dunkin' Donuts coffee, this is, I don't know, is this an acquired taste? This is awful, this coffee. But like I said, I think the taste is so bad, the shock of the bad taste of the Dunkin' Donuts coffee will perhaps wake me up like and be more than caffeine could. It's that bad. It is that bad. But you know what really shocked me about this? Okay. This is the same coffee that I get at Starbucks, right? The large Americano, you know, with it has the Cuban coffee shots in it with cream. It costs more money at Dunkin' Donuts. It's $1 more a cup. Same size, same drink. $1 more at Dunkin' Donuts. I was in shock. And it tastes like they haven't cleaned the coffee machine since they opened up the place. And I've tried it at 2 different Dunkin' Donuts because I thought, well, maybe this one was just bad. I tried it at 2 different Dunkin' Donuts, and in both, yeah, burnt rubber. It has that burnt rubber taste. Burnt rubber that's cold on ice is what it tastes like. And I'm getting back in the hydration. I drank this on the way in, the whole bottle. I got a little bit left. If you guys listened to my podcast last night, I did a lot of personal revealing on it. You have to listen to the podcast, though, to hear it, including a huge negative criticism I got during yesterday's YouTube live stream on the show. I talked about it on last night's podcast. It's the one about Clarence Thomas. Folgers doesn't have enough caffeine in it. Let me see you wake up at 2 a.m. and broadcast 2 shows with that low caffeinated Folgers. It's not about the taste or anything. It's about the caffeine content. Well, you have to go back. I'm not going to go back over Candace Owens, but you have to go back and watch it. She pulled a very desperate move to try to get back on the Trump train, but we've called her out.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve King Show.
All right, callers on hold, stand by on our Open Phone Friday. We call it Open Mega Mic Friday. And but before we do that, Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve.
Good morning.
Yeah, remind me. I don't want to do this now because I want to, it's open phones. I want to take some calls. But I had a conversation with an old-time listener. Remind me. I want to talk to you about it on the air. So, but I'll forget if I don't do it now. But okay. All right. You want to go to the phones? What do you want to do?
I put it in your hands.
Okay. Puts it in my hands. That's right. Good morning. You're on the air. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Linda, and I'm calling from Cleveland, Ohio.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm just listening to you talking about the situation with Candace Owens.
Yes.
And I am a Black conservative, and I remember Candace Owens when she first came on Twitter, and her name was Candace Black or something like that.
Really?
And
she went by Candace Black? I've never heard that before.
Yeah, because she wanted to be identified as a Black person on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
So that's how you knew she was Black. She called herself Candace Black or something, how Black was in her name.
Okay.
And I used my actual photo in my Twitter account to identify as a Black conservative, but not in my name. My name
Al Rogers is Liberal Al. Uh-huh.
Somewhat benign. God's Army.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, when I first encountered Candace on Twitter, she was embroiled in a big battle with the gamers group. They were just destroying her, just crushing her.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of people were tweeting bad comments about her because she had tried to introduce an application that would supposedly punish bullies.
Well, I know this about Candace Owens, okay? When she first came online, she was a big anti-Trump person, okay? And in the campaign, in the first campaign. And she even was involved in talking about the size of Trump's hands. Remember that? They were talking about his hands to try to imply that he had a small penis. Remember all that stuff? She was talking about that. And then at some point, she said she got red-pilled, I guess, when she realized,
making those really cute videos, where she'd get on and she'd talk about what was happening in the Black community.
Well, let's talk about what she's doing now. So I don't trust her anymore. She's with that never Trumper Ben Shapiro.
I don't either. But anyhow, I'm saying in the beginning, my point in going over the history was that I supported her strongly at that time because she was being attacked by white and Black people for when she began to identify as a Black conservative.
Yeah, and now in this interview, she trashed Trump in that audio I played an hour ago. And here she is in this interview in the Trump-hating Vanity Fair talking about what a nice person Kamala Harris is. Why is she trashing Trump as a human being and praising Kamala?
Because she's a chameleon. When I first decided that Candace was kind of shady was when, remember when the walk away campaign was started by the young gay man?
Yeah, the hairdresser, Brandon Straka.
Brandon Straka. That was a wonderful campaign, and I supported it strongly, and I used to retweet all of his videos, and he did a wonderful thing. Thousands of people were shifting from Democrat to Republican or conservative because of what he did. And she wanted to get that attention. She wanted to take it from him. So she started Blexit.
That's right.
Yes. And Blexit was to pretend like she was the one moving Black people to the Conservative Party, not Brandon.
So she's sneaky and she's a thief. She's okay. Well, hey, yeah. Well, listen. I welcome you. I welcome you to the show from Cleveland. What are your thoughts on the arrest of President Trump?
Oh, I was horrified, but I listened to a prophet by the name of Amanda Grace.
Mm-hmm.
Knew that arrest was coming, and I know that it's not going to prevail. I know that it's going to be one of the main nails in their coffin.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, I'm stressed about the whole situation going on in our country right now, but I'm not.
Mm. Well, that's great. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate the call. All right, take care. Steve, I saw the president on his way to Trump Force One to head to New York. He didn't look like he had a worry in the world. He did not look like he had a worry in the world. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yeah, you're on the air.
Hey, it's Frank from Michigan. How are we doing today?
All right, Michigan.
Excuse me. Happy Easter to you and Steve and her.
Yes.
Real quick. I wanted to bring to your attention that On Monday, Leo DiCaprio testified in a hearing on a case that a famous rapper was embezzling money to the 2012 campaign of Barack Obama.
From China. Yep.
If you heard anything on that.
Yeah, and this is a huge case because it's concrete evidence of the Chinese buying influence from the Democrat Party. That we know it's happening, and people talk about it. There's a lot on the laptop about it, but this was a court case where Leonardo DiCaprio himself took an oath and testified, and it's in the court record, which takes it out of the conspiracy rumor mill and makes it legal that we know about it, right? Yeah, under penalty of perjury. Under penalty of perjury, Leonardo DiCaprio said that Obama took Chinese money. That's illegal. You cannot take foreign money when you're running for office. You can't do that. It's against the law. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I appreciate that. And once again, our prayers go out. My prayers go out to Donald Trump, greatest president ever.
That's right. Take care. Yes, that's right. Oh, man. Don't we have great callers today, Steve? So far, yeah. Well, the show's not even half over yet, so it could go downhill at any point. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. All right, we're going to take our first break of this hour. Come back with your calls, and it is open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. One of our listeners, Christine, came up with that. I think that's a good one. Open MAGA Mike Friday. I've got to say it slow, right? That means anything and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. We suspended open phones last Friday because of the arrest of Donald Trump, the indictment, right? But they're back today. So you're not limited to discussing the things that Steve and I bring up. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Toll free from anywhere. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve King Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE-1. This is the Steve King Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day. The buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows.
Oh man, welcome guys! If you're new, make sure you subscribe. All right.
So glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout.
And everyone like the video.
And buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879.
That's not what the link is for, but the link does work. If you the link, it's pinned in the chat. The link is pinned in the chat.
We are an energy saving and installation company. Make your home energy efficient, cut your electric bills up to 50%, and pay little or even nothing for the repairs. Make sure you get your fair share of the Inflation Reduction Act. Rebates up to
Where is everyone located? Like what city or state or country are you in? I like to once a week ask that. It's always pretty cool and interesting to see where everyone's at. Like here I am in Palm Beach, Florida. Wisconsin, Maryland, Colorado, Michigan, Maine, Arkansas, Pennsylvania, Nantucket Island, wow, California, Virginia, Texas, Delaware, Indiana, Long Island, the Great Smoky Mountains, awesome, Ohio, Ontario, wow, Miami-Dade, not too far away, Wyoming, Maryville, Tennessee, South Carolina, Poland, welcome Poland. I saw the Polish media at Mar-a-Lago when I was over there the other day on Monday. Loxahatchee, right down the street. Buffalo, New York. Wow. Vancouver, Washington. Coconut Creek. South Africa. Wow. Texas, what's that? North Carolina. Is that Austin? Texas, like Massachusetts and New Brunswick, Spokane. Wow. Wow. Pensacola. We are global, baby. Waxahachie. Switzerland. Wow. Japan.
95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM. Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM.
The Netherlands. Wow.
96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve is here. You back with us, Steve? Yes. All right, callers, hang in there. Oh, that's so obvious. Okay, what's going on with Clarence Thomas? But I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. Okay, but first, I want to tell everyone about my chiropractor, Dr. Philip Appleton, and his laser away pain treatment. Okay, now what he did for me was amazing. Rid me of my arthritis pain, rid me of my knee pain. My knee pain I'd suffered from for many, many years. And when I was up at Mar-a-Lago the other day, walking around and doing all that stuff, I wouldn't have been able to do that before Dr. Philip Appleton rid me of my knee pain, because I would have been in too much pain to do it. Even standing on a hard surface for a while was painful. And his laser away pain treatment works. Now, if you've been told that you need knee replacement surgery, surgery is not the only option when you're suffering from knee pain, okay? I've had, and I know you've had this happen, Steve. I've known so many guys that have either had knee surgery or knee replacement surgery because they're in pain. I've never had someone I know say, I got my knee surgery or my knee replacement and I'm pain-free. What they always tell me is the same thing. Yeah, I had my knee surgery, I had my knee replacement, and my second surgery is scheduled. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? You go to these surgeons, all they know is how to cut and do surgery. But knee replacement surgery is not the only option, or knee surgery for knee pain sufferers. Even if you're suffering bone-on-bone pain, you can be mobile and pain-free with Dr. Philip Appleton's laser away pain treatment. If you've been through physical therapy, injections for the pain, or and after all that, you're still suffering with pain and you're looking for help and relief, I've been there, I know. The laser away pain treatment can give you that long-term relief from your pain that you're looking for. He treated me for my knee pain about a year ago. 2 treatments, pain gone, hasn't returned. Not once, not at all. The only time I remember I ever had a knee problem is when I'm telling all of you about Dr. Philip Appleton. He's a chiropractic physician. He's open Monday through Saturday. That's tomorrow. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. Give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710, and online, AppletonChiro.com. All right, so callers on hold, stand by. I'm going to tell Steve and all of you what's going on with Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. So what have you heard, Steve? And then I'll clarify it for you. Of course, they're talking about he's committed the crime of being black and a Republican, and he's been gotten away with it for too long. They're accusing him of taking bribes. They're accusing him of taking bribes from one guy who he's gone on some expensive vacations, and he flew on this guy's private jet and went to some place, and they're accusing him of taking bribes, okay? The Democrats are doing this to try to get Clarence Thomas to either resign or be removed from the bench so that Pops Biden can appoint some black transgender Supreme Court justice who's 25 years old, and have them up there for the next 50 years. And that's why they're doing this. It's not going to happen. He didn't take bribes. Clarence Thomas talked about this. And he's just got a rich friend that he travels around with, That's all. I've got friends, you've got friends, and sometimes your friends can help you, right? Stay somewhere nicer, get somewhere. I used to have a friend who, when I was younger, he worked for a cruise line. Before I was married, I used to take free cruises all the time with him. He only had to pay port taxes. I had another friend that worked for an airline. I'd get discount airline, no bribes. Well, they're going to make it a big deal in the news because they want Biden to be able to appoint a transgender black Latinx Supreme Court justice. That's their fantasy. Yeah. But Clarence Thomas's real crime by the left is that he's a black Republican. And that's a crime in itself. even though Frederick Douglass was a Republican. Even though Martin Luther King was a Republican, it's a crime now. All right, let's go. Let's see here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, gentlemen. Conservative.
Oh, hey, Doug.
You know, real quickly, Clarence Thomas did nothing wrong, of course, and thank God we have a House run by Republicans. The main thing I want to talk about today, bring out, is MSNBC. I was having my car looked at to see about the body damage, and I had to wait in the room and watch MSNBC. First, they put it on, and I was saying, wow, they were all depressed. They were saying, oh, President Trump didn't say he was guilty to any of the crimes. I was like, oh, good. But then they started their rant on how, they always do, they hate President Trump. Went on. I got so annoyed, I got up and went outside in the sun rather than sit there listening to it. That MSNBC is poison. Nobody, I don't think, is healthy for anybody that's not a liberal to watch that show.
No, I disagree. I disagree. I watch MSNBC. Watching MSNBC, see, they're very lowly rated. And the people on MSNBC just assume no one's watching other than liberal Democrats. And they tell you everything they're doing. They tell you everything the Democrats are doing on MSNBC. But so few people watch it. It's like top secret still. So if you watch them, not when we're on the air, by the way, but if you watch them at other parts of the day, you'll find out exactly what the Democrats are doing before they do it, because they broadcast it on the lowly rated MS-13BC.
When you watch that show, does it put you in a bad mood?
Nothing puts me in a bad mood. All right, hey Doug, appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh boy.
Brian Craig?
Yes. Yes, hello.
Yes, I can't believe it. You're still on the air, and Steve is there too.
Yeah, we're both still on the air. Yeah, we haven't gone anywhere.
What's that, Steve?
Oh boy.
Shocked?
I was shocked. Yeah, I came across you on YouTube. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, a radio accident. Where are you located?
Right now, I'm in Daytona Beach.
Oh, okay. And you found us on YouTube. Yes, this is us.
But you don't remember me, so that's a good.
Oh no, why should we remember you? What did you do? Why should we remember you?
My balls on the air. You used to break my balls on the air all the time.
What's your name? What's your name?
My voice sounds a little hoarse today, so maybe.
What's your name?
My name is Harvey.
Harvey? Is this Harvey from Kendall?
No, not from Kendall. I was never in Kendall. I used to be in all over. I've been all over this.
Oh yeah, Steve. This is one of those callers that you said is a show killer. He's the one. He's the callers that I remember you very well. Your name was on a list of 4 or 5 people that Steve said were radio deaf, and that they would suck the energy and life out of any radio show. I remember you well.
Oh, really? That's good, because I used to have a radio show in West Palm Beach. So.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's Steve where you heard him. Anyway, what's on your mind? Maybe you've gotten better.
Well, I'm so glad to hear you. You're on the air and you're very successful. You have terrific commercials, actually. Very.
Oh, thank you.
I can't even believe. Well, yeah. I remember Barry's Vitamins. Is he still alive?
No, Barry passed away, sadly. See, this is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida. We outlive sponsors, we outlive listeners. We're like immortals, Steve and I.
I used to have a very close friend. His name was Dave, and he used to call your show and try to break your balls every day, but he passed away from cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, so what do you have other than that you're shocked that we're still alive? Do you have anything to add?
You used to put on Dave all the time because remember his son joined the military?
No, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Now I know why you put his name on that list, Steve. Yeah, exactly. One call every 35 years or so, and that's about. Oh man. All right. There's one opening on the board where Harvey was located at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. Steve is here. It is open phones. And we'll take our bottom of the hour break and come back with more of your calls at 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631.
Making morning radio.
Oh, my goodness. Welcome, guys. Welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Yeah, Harvey, are you in the chat?
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
Have you guys all clicked the link I pinned up there in the chat and check that out? If you don't mind, do that. Burt Reynolds mustache. Yeah, Kathy and I just watched a Burt Reynolds movie the other night. Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. They'd never be able to make that movie today.
Plus, in-store, curbside, or online, fast and reliable tablet repair. Learn more at batteryplus.com. That's traffic. I'm Zach.
Traffic is service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. Lots of exciting.
Harvey had a radio show. Well, having a radio show and having one that people listen to are two different things. We were talking about RFK Jr. yesterday. I think it's awesome. He's a disruptor. Remember Rush with Operation Chaos? He's like Operation Chaos, RFK Jr. So I think in the chat today, the furthest from where I'm at, we had someone in there in Japan. So I think the person watching in Japan, because once I get to Japan, I'm coming back to Florida, I think, right? From where I'm at. I just wish he had his voice back. Unfortunately, with his voice damage, I didn't see North Korea. I sure hope, Thomas, that would be amazing. Yes. Well, we were talking about freedom. We talked a lot about RFK Jr. You know, I'm fascinated by RFK Jr., in particular when he talks about the assassination of his father and uncle. He lays out the whole thing of what happened, and he knows. He's like, oh, I'd love that plaque. I'd walk around with that plaque for a week if I had that plaque, that 100,000 plaque. You guys could get me there. And RFK Jr. is, you know, liberals go nuts over the Kennedys. He's a big disruptor for Biden. It's amazing. Yeah. So we want to do all we can to promote RFK Jr. Absolutely. No, Pluto, that's fake. That's not real. Yes. I talked about that yesterday too, Carolina. I played the audio of her on the show yesterday. You got to listen to yesterday's show. Oh, yes, I got something I got to bring up. I know, it's amazing. Thank you, everyone who subscribed. It's greatly appreciated. St. Martin. Yeah, we went to St. Martin on one of our cruises. St. Martin is very nice. It's one of the most upscale places in the Caribbean I've ever been. It's beautiful.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, welcome. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. There's only one opening on the board. Oh, by the way, Steve, I'm sure you've seen this. We had another transgender shooter, transgender Colorado woman, age 19. Now, I'm not sure if that means born a man. I don't know, but transgender Colorado woman, 19, arrested over plot to shoot up 3 schools and churches. And they were arrested with detailed plans and the Communist Manifesto 4 days after the transgender shooting of that school in Nashville. So we have 2 transgender mass shooters in just a little bit of a time here. There's something going on, Steve, and I don't know if it's well, maybe when you mess with Mother Nature and start injecting the things that they injected and do the things that they do. I mean, if you, yeah, getting your penis removed and turned into a vagina can drive people nuts, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know from experience, but it seems like something that would bother me. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian and Steve. This is John in Wellington.
Oh,
Good Friday.
This morning.
We love our calls from the mean streets of Wellington.
All those mean streets. It's rough over here. It's rough, but somebody's got to live here.
You know who lives in Wellington? There's a celebrity in Wellington, and maybe you've seen them around. Vanilla Ice lives in Wellington.
Yes, I see them all the time at the Publix in Royal Palm Beach.
Get out of town.
No, I really do. At least once a month.
I would love to meet Vanilla Ice.
And not too long ago, Tommy Lee Jones sold his ranch.
Really?
Lake Worth Road. I used to see him from time to time as well.
Wow, that's amazing. A lot of celebrities in there. All right. Hey, so what's on your mind today?
Well, first of all, if it's illegal to take money from China, and yet some miraculous way, Bill Clinton is still walking around. And what a coincidence it is that as soon as Bill Clinton got money from China, China's missile technology advanced decades.
Well, what happened with Bill Clinton is he's not the first one to take the Chinese money. He's just the first one that got caught. I remember the guy's name clearly, Charlie Tree. I don't know why I remember the name. Charlie Tree went into a DNC office and donated a lot of cash money to Bill Clinton. And all of a sudden they had all of our guided missile technology for the guidance system. And the guidance system is what allowed them to send Chinamen into space and make missiles and things like that. Yeah, it's almost like they bought it from Bill Clinton, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
The reason for my call is I just wanted to call in and say it's very, very refreshing to hear from all these pro-Trump conservative black callers. Usually when you hear from usually a black male, it's some brain dead idiot like the guy from New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I served a long time in the Army. And let me tell you something. The most conservative people I have ever come in contact with were black soldiers.
Really?
Really and truly. Yep.
You know what? I really want to hear from one of our liberal black callers today. I asked this question about an hour ago, and I want to throw it out again. Okay, and this is an important question. I'm told by Black Lives Matter and the Democrats and CNN and MSNBC and Hollywood that the American justice system is racist towards blacks and benefits rich white guys. If that is true, how did a black prosecutor arrest a rich white guy who was also president of the United States this week? How's that possible?
It's not possible, but that's all they've got to hang their hats on, racism. They always talk about systemic racism. And
yes.
You go into any government building, you go into any DMV, and the vast majority of people, wherever you go, from coast to coast, are black people.
Mm.
That's the case. How do they get their jobs? Their jobs.
Mm. Yeah. All right. Take care, John in Wellington. Yes. All right. There's one opening on the board where John in Wellington was holding at 1-888-900-3391. Go Kane 1. All right, the phones are very busy, and I know a lot of you have been on hold for a long time, and I've lost track of the order in which the calls were received, but I'm doing my best. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yes, you're on the air.
Hi, Carlos from Hollywood.
Hey, Carlos.
Hi, how are you? I was calling in regards to lessons in loyalty, mainly your loyalty to Donald Trump and your great loyalty to your co-host, the Honorable Steve Kane.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know if you can give us a synopsis of how is your professional relationship with Mr. Kane, how it started.
Well, how Steve and I met, I was very young, and there was that NAMBLA meeting that I was at, and Steve was at the NAMBLA meeting, and that's how we connected. Nobody knows what NAMBLA is anymore, but no, look it up and you'll get the joke. You'll get the joke. No, Steve. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you guys. I used to. This story sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I've always been a fan of radio, and my first car that I got in high school, my grandmother bought me a Chevy Citation, and it only had an AM radio in it. It didn't have an FM radio. And Steve was on in the afternoons on WIOD in Miami then, and I used to listen to Steve when I got out of school. We got out of school at 2:35, and you were doing afternoon drive then, Steve. And I would listen to Steve on my way home from school in high school, and then a couple years later, I started working at radio stations, not on the air. I worked at a lot of stations off the air and doing things. And I used to call a radio show that was on the same station as Steve, Craig Worthing. And Craig invited me to come to the studio once, Steve, during the show, which we don't need to get involved in all that right now for this story. We can do that on another day on how that happened. But I got offered a job there, and when I went for a job interview, I didn't even know Steve was on the station because I just found out about this radio station. And at the time, I was working at Y100, not on the air. Okay, I basically just pulled the carts with the songs and the commercials for the DJs. Okay, it was not on the air, but I was working at Y100, and there was this couple that were the most famous people in America at the time, Jeff and Kathy Willits. And Jeff Willits was a Broward sheriff's deputy, and he was his wife's pimp. And she would have sex with people, including the deputy mayor of Fort Lauderdale, while he watched in the closet. And it was a national story. It was in all the news. I mean, it was in the national story. And I went there for a job interview at the radio station, and I was in the cafeteria of the radio station waiting to be interviewed, and Jeff and Kathy Willits walked in, and I was like, oh, these were the most famous people. They were more famous than Trump. And then they were on the air with Steve, and the guy that interviewed me took me on a tour of the station, and Steve was on the air with Jeff and Kathy Willits. I quit Y100 and started working. That was the old 1400 WFTL. Started working at that radio station that night as a board op, and then eventually I became Steve's board op, and then Steve had this crazy idea of putting me on the air, and now here we are. But that's what I know. I used to listen to Steve in high school. That's how old this show is. That's how long it's been on the air. Because I graduated high school a long time ago, 1989.
Thank you, and God bless the two of you and your family during Holy Week.
All right, take care. Yeah, that's true. And I remember, Steve, when I got my typical punk kid, right? My grandmother buys me my first car, and I was like ticked off that it only had an AM radio in it. I would never have discovered you and wouldn't be here today. I don't know what I'd be doing, but I'd be somewhere else than I am today. So anyway, who's next here? Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, they gave up. Good morning. You're on the air. Oh, wait.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you? What's your name?
Oh, Lisa from Pompano.
Hey, Lisa.
Hi, I called him yesterday. I just want to let you know that I did see Barry Siegel yesterday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was great. And
My husband and I went and we did the whole will thing, and he's a really, really nice guy. I met his wife; she works there as well. And I just wanted to pass on that I'm so glad you guys have no sponsor.
Oh yeah, Attorney Barry Siegel is he's great, and we found Attorney Barry Siegel because Steve had a revocable living trust, and it had been done years before, and someone introduced us to Barry Siegel to review Steve's revocable living trust, and it was a disaster, including the fact that Steve's trustee was dead, and so Steve had to. You outlived your trustee, so Barry updated Steve's trust, and he's been with us ever since. This is like memory lane day.
Yeah, we see him again in May just to get everything notarized. And I don't have a complicated, my husband, we don't have a complicated thing, but I just want to get a will done, and my daughter and his son, but everything's good. It's a very, very.
Well, thank you.
Even good thing. Yeah, just want to let you know.
Well, I appreciate that.
You guys have a great weekend and have a happy Easter. I got to go to work.
All right, take care. Take care. You know, the less. You know, I don't know if this is just me or not, but it seems to me, Steve, the less you have, the more you need Attorney Barry Siegel, because you have less to give to the probate lawyers, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. All right. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is a black liberal Democrat.
Oh, okay.
Looking for one.
Yes.
And you asked why that is possible that a black man can indict a rich white man.
No, that's not what first off, I didn't ask. I asked. But that's okay. You know, no, I'm not making fun of you. I'm pointing out that you are inarticulate, and I want you to sound like an articulate person because I know you're a smart guy. So here's the question. Here's the question that I posed. Okay. Black Lives Matter and the Democrats tell us that the American system of justice is racist against African Americans and benefits white people, in particular wealthy white people. If that is true, how did a black man arrest a rich white man who was president of the United States this week, Donald Trump? How did that happen if Black Lives Matter is correct?
Well, because no one is above the law. That's why.
No. If the system is biased and this is a racist country, how did a black man get away with arresting a white billionaire who was president?
He presented a case and got an indictment, right?
He was arrested. President Trump was arrested.
No, I'm saying the black man presented a case to a grand jury and got an indictment.
That's right.
So that's how the black man did it.
Okay. So so obviously Black Lives Matter is incorrect, that the justice system is blind.
With the Rockefeller laws?
The Rockefeller laws? No.
It was during the drug era. So
during the what era? During the what era? What year was this?
Drug era.
What era was that?
In the 80s.
Well, that's like 40 years ago. Can you go to something more up to date? I live in the 21st century.
People get pulled over 5 times more than white people.
Really?
They get higher sentences for the same crime.
Really? So this is interesting. So if you and I get pulled over with an ounce of cocaine each.
Over, Steve.
Brian, are you kidding me? I got pulled over 5 times. I got pulled over 5 times last year.
You wouldn't get pulled over. You're not threatened.
No, I get pulled over. Sure. I got pulled over 5 times last year.
What did they do to you?
Thanked me. No tickets.
Exactly. It'd be a little different. So.
No. Yeah. You know why? Because you've got a bad attitude. See, you know, when I get.
No, sir. Yes, sir.
So you were part. Oh, wait a minute. You worked in. So you're part of the race. Wait a minute. You worked. What? Wait a minute. You've betrayed the black people. You worked for the racist correction system, imprisoning African Americans.
That works for law.
Well, why would you be part of the system? Why would you be part of the system of oppression, taking part in keeping in jail innocent black men?
To change the system.
Oh, what did you do to change the system? What did you do to change the system? Give an example of how you did it.
People who
How'd you do it? Give an example.
What do you mean?
You said you changed the system. Did you?
To change.
Did you help someone escape?
People represent people like me, so don't you think?
No. If you believe what you say you, excuse me, if you believe what you say you believe about the American justice system, you're like the Jews that worked for the Nazis in the concentration camps.
Who said that? You said Black Lives Matter in the Democrats.
You said that black men are falsely imprisoned for crimes that white people wouldn't even be arrested for, and we find out that you took money taking part in this racist justice system. What did?
Very well.
Oh, I listen very well. That's your problem. Steve, what did they call the Jews that worked for the Nazis in the camps that led the Jews into the showers in Auschwitz? What did they call them? But that's what you're doing.
I'm a sellout.
Yeah, you're a sellout. Yeah, you're a sellout.
What?
Yeah.
Sold out the country, don't you think?
No, we're talking about you now.
But I'm saying you sold out the country too.
No. Hey, listen.
You love him, right?
Notice that he didn't deny that he.
Yeah, he's a race traitor and sold out.
You said it. I don't have to deny something I know.
Well, you're a very lucky man because we're up against the break. But listen, it's Easter weekend. It's Holy Week. Over the weekend, think about the role you played in imprisoning innocent black men. All right, take care. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on Steve.
All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we just heard a few moments ago from a very happy client of yours.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear that.
Yeah, they were her and her husband came in to meet with you. They said they didn't have much, but you know, even though they don't have a lot, you were able to set them up. And Steve, if I heard correctly, she said she feels a great sense of relief, which is a common thing that so many listeners have told me after they meet with you, Attorney Barry Siegel, that they feel a weight has been lifted off of them.
You know, when clients come in and they finish signing their documents and the process is coming to an end, at least to the end of the first part, because it continues on year after year where, you know, we have the free reviews for our clients. So it really never ends because it's an ongoing process to make sure people have the state plan that works when they need it. But you could actually see in people's body language the sense of relief and the sense of peace of mind. You'll hear that big sigh. You'll see people's shoulders kind of come down like, oh, I got this done. And that's really what we're aiming for at the Siegel Law Group, is to help people get that peace of mind, to get that relief. And that's exactly what we really are aiming to do such a good job for our clients that they're going to want to write a 5-star review and even call Brian and Steve and talk about it on the air. So, Mom.
Yeah. Now I'm not the attorney, so I don't know, but she had told us that her and her husband don't have a lot, right? They're not rich people. They have very little. And I'd said to Steve, you know, when the less someone has, in many ways, the more important the planning is, because they have less to give to the probate lawyers after they pass.
Yeah, I mean, there's planning for all levels of wealth and all types of situations. So what we aim for, and I'm pretty sure I know who called, you know, we don't recommend the same thing for everybody, and really based on what they need is what they need. We don't want to do overkill with recommend, but we also want to make sure people are protected. One of the things that we do on the questionnaire that people fill out before they meet with us is it will ask them what are their goals. And, you know, it might say avoid probate, it might say make sure I'm cared for if disabled. It might talk about I want to make sure that my children's inheritance is protected from lawsuits, creditors, divorces, and so on. All kinds of things. I want to make sure that my children don't squander their inheritance. So we're looking to see that what we recommend meets with what they want, but also taking into consideration all the other issues and the size of their estate.
Yep. Well, listen, it is always a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio. Now, his primary office is located in Boca, but he has offices throughout Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade County. But no matter where you are in Florida in the days of Zoom meetings and all of this, the Siegel Law Group can help you no matter where you're located in the state of Florida. You can find them online at siegellawgroup.com or call toll free 855 FLA 3782. 855 FLA 3782. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. By the way, Steve, it's Easter. What did Jews do on Easter, Steve? What are you guys doing? Do you have any Easter plans?
I go to church.
You go to church. Jews go to church on Easter? Well, at least in the Kane family, they do. Exactly. But let me ask you, did you guys do Easter, though, like with the Easter eggs and the bunny before you were Christian?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Easter eggs and everything. That's a lot of fun. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, this is Wellington. How's it going?
Oh, hey, we are so hot in Wellington, Steve. We've got a lot of Wellington listeners. What's up?
Yeah, I was just calling in to comment on the BLM question myself. I'm not a black man, but I watched this prosecution system of what was in place in our country in the 90s and how it put people in jail for minuscule crimes. And it wasn't just black people that I saw go to jail. I had a friend of mine that anytime I was in the car with him, we would get pulled over. Anytime anybody was in the car with him, he would get pulled over. He was a white male. And he actually won a harassment case in Broward County against an officer here that actually famous online from pepper spraying a kid at Terravella recently. And I mean, the length of time that it went on was probably like 7 years of harassment from BSO that this kid went.
Well, let me tell you about people running into trouble with cops, okay? Blacks versus white, okay? When I was up at Mar-a-Lago yesterday, there were a lot of police officers around. And there was one guy in particular who was very nasty and very rude to all of us. I mean, he was really rude. And he's in my YouTube video. If you watch it, I was calling him Officer Brandon, if you get my meaning on that. But the difference is in how you react to that. There was remember that time, Steve, I ran into those cops on the way to the radio station. Okay. And there's like, okay, a few, yeah, only the ones I've told you about. But I was at our old radio studio that we had in Coral Springs for many, many years. I stopped at a gas station that was closed early in the morning because I had a tire that was almost flat for air. I got up from the tire. There were 4 cops there, and they were giving me a hard. They were white, all of them, and I'm as white as a saltine cracker. And they were, "What are you doing here? You back here buying drugs?" Keep in mind, I've got the air nozzle in my hand. "Are you back here buying drugs?" And I said, "No, I'm putting air in my tire." And "We could search your car. We could search your car. You doing drugs back here?" I still have the air thing in my hand, right? And I'm pulled up to the air pump, and I said, "Please, you can search my car. I gotta go to work." And they escalated, and they escalated, and they escalated, and I kept cool, just like Officer Brandon the other day at Mar-a-Lago. If you've been brought up thinking that the cops are racist and are hounding you because you're black, you're more likely to escalate instead of be cool when you're dealing with a police officer. I got pulled over 5 times without 1 ticket. And the reason, one of the times I was live streaming online when it happened. I roll down, I got a 4-door. I roll down all the windows before the cop gets there. They always appreciate that, especially when it's dark, so they can see in the car that you're alone. I have my license, I have my registration and my insurance in my hand before they even get to the car. And I'm polite. That's why I don't get tickets, because I'm polite. I don't cop an attitude. "You're pulling me over because I'm white." Come on.
we've all seen videos online of just everybody. It's not white, black. It's everybody that things happen with cops that shouldn't happen. And we all kind of realize that there has to be a system in place for people to be able to be policed. But, you know, the way that it's changed and the cameras on the back, you know, on the cops themselves and the cars themselves, it's changed a lot.
Well, years ago, I don't want years ago, I had an incident happen where I had cops come up at me with guns drawn. Okay, it was a few years back, and it was a very scary thing, but I kept my cool and nothing happened. And I remember it was, you know, something happened, you know, it was, you know, false thing. And the cops told me that my reaction was perfect. They told me the reaction was perfect. It's a lot in how you handle things when you're stopped. But let's face it, there's a lot of cops that are cops because they have small penises, are angry, like to carry guns, and have a sociopathic personality. And they'll, like Officer Brandon I was dealing with the other day, and they will push you. They will push your buttons to try to escalate because they want to use the gun. They want to arrest. They want to use their power. But you got to overcome that.
Well, at this point, I don't understand how people don't realize what's actually going on and how they're putting criminals back on the street. Not just with COVID, pre-COVID, they were putting criminals back on the street. And I understand that some of it, you know, they might be releasing people that stupid things, but a lot of it has to do with these DAs, and a lot of it has to do with how they're trying to break down our community, you know, and that's what the real tragedy is.
I mean, look what, like, I give an example that a lot of you saw. Remember when we did that personal appearance at the flea market, the festival flea market, and they called the cops on Steve and I? Can you believe it? You know, and a lot of people told me that, oh, you guys, you're cowards. You just left. Well, they called the police and said, if you don't leave, you're trespassing. Steve and I didn't escalate. We had 200 listeners there. Guy came up with the guy that came. This video is online, by the way, on my YouTube channel. The manager had a pistol under his pants, and he had an armed security guard with him. And they called the cops. And I knew the cops probably did details with this guy and would do whatever he told him. They told us to leave. We didn't stand our ground. We didn't say, we have a right. We did, Steve and I de-escalated. We de-escalated, and that's how you avoid trouble.
I agree. Man, you guys have a good Easter. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Take care. If you're on hold, stand by. There's only one opening on the board where Vince from Wellington was speaking with us. Our number, 1-888 Go Kane 1-888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. It is open phones, as you can tell, on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Any and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. 1-888 Go Kane 1-888-465-2631. Back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK.
Oh, man. If you're new to my channel, please like the video and subscribe. And if you guys could do me a favor, click that link I pinned in the chat and check that out. Oh, man. Less than an hour to go. The show is flying by. I feel like I just came on the air. Maybe I should just get a small cup of this bad tasting coffee. I'd probably get used to the bad taste. You can get used to the taste of anything, right? Oh, my God. That is just awful. That's right. That's right. Oh, it is terrible. I was telling people, I get that coffee from Starbucks, You know, this is the same. This is the same coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. It costs $1 more a cup, and it tastes like crap. The Americano. Oh my goodness. Someone in the chat said like burned rubber. Yeah, burned rubber on ice because it's iced coffee. It's awful. And I was shocked that it's $1 more a cup than Starbucks. Oh man. Do you guys stand with Clarence Thomas? I know you stand with Trump. If you stand with Clarence Thomas against these awful allegations, press 1 because I do. This is so obvious what they're doing. Do you think that Biden would appoint a transgender judge to the Supreme Court if he had an opening? Do you think so? Because that's like the in thing now. A transgender Supreme Court justice nominated by Biden. I think he would. Yeah, he would. He would. That would be bizarre. Could you imagine? She is full of herself. She is full of herself. And me personally, just because of you see what she's truly like, she's not as pretty to me as she used to be. What do you guys think? She's lost some of her beauty, I think, because she's so full of herself. You know, that's the thing about people that are public people. You know, the guy was talking about me and Steve and I get along very well. We have no disagreements, 30 years plus together because there's no ego involved. You know, these people like Candace Owens, they get famous and they just got these massive egos. You know, I see this happen all the time with people in this business. I see it happen with YouTubers a lot because with YouTubers, you see you see them, they're like just some guy or girl making videos in their bedroom, and then all of a sudden they're like big and famous and they lose control. That's what happened to Candace Owens. And they get famous fast, and she forgets she is only famous because of Trump, just like Governor DeSantis, right? She trashed Trump. She trashed Trump big time. The whole first hour, I went through the whole thing. So if you go back to the beginning of the video, you can see it. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, oh boy. It's been some week, huh? That's just an out of control ego. Out of control ego. That's right. That would never happen to me, no matter how famous I got. That would never happen to me.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here, and there's one opening at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. So Easter, Easter's about a lot of things, but Easter dinner is a very important family dinner. It's right up there, right? You got Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving, and Easter dinner. And I know what we're doing, and that's great Italian food from Anne Marie's in Pompano. Now, Anne Marie's, everything at Anne Marie's in Pompano is homemade with grandma's recipes. And Steve, I can't think of anything better for Easter dinner than homemade Italian food, right? I mean, it doesn't get better than. And I'm gonna tell you what's on the menu, okay, for us. The lasagna. Oh my goodness, have you had the lasagna yet, Steve? You've not had lasagna until you have the lasagna at Anne Marie's. It's grandma's recipe with those layers of pasta, ricotta, ground beef. The baked ziti was the first Italian dish I had at Anne Marie's. That is out of this world. And this next dish, it might seem a little kind of like, boring. Spaghetti and meatballs. Well, with the homemade red sauce from Anne Marie's and their meatballs, Steve, those meatballs are fantastic, and they're about the size of soccer balls too. And of course, by popular request, because this is what we did for Christmas, Jerry's bank rolls, which is Anne Marie's famous dough, stuffed, rolled, and then baked fresh. Now they come in different kinds. They have the 3 cheese bank rolls, the spinach feta, or the pepperoni mozzarella. I'm getting the pepperoni mozzarella, and I'm ordering extras of those. Yeah, over Christmas, I don't even think I got one over Christmas because everybody ate them up. Now, Anne Marie's, so what we're going to do is what we did on Christmas. I'm going to go in on Easter Eve, Saturday, and get my takeout and then heat everything up on Sunday for Easter. And it heats up just the way they cooked it. And Anne Marie's is located in Pompano on the northwest corner of US 1 Federal Highway and Copans Road in the same plaza as the movie theater. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. All right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, sir, Brian.
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning, and hi, Steve. Me and Steve come from the same borough, the Bronx. But anyway, I'd like to say.
Wait, Steve. You're not from the Bronx. You're from like You're from that rich part of town.
Country school.
Yeah, you like live next door to. You're like. Where did you live in New York, Steve? Not the Bronx.
72nd of the Central Park West.
Central Park West. Yeah, yes, that's right.
Right across the street from where John Lennon wanted.
Yeah.
Back then, the Bronx was okay. But anyway, I would like to say, I know you like to pump up Trump, right? And right now you're putting down DeSantis. But, hey, DeSantis is doing a good job for Florida. But anyway, like I say, I voted for Trump twice, right? 2016 and 2020.
Yeah.
And I will vote for him again. But I would like to say that the Republican Party is losing electoral votes. In 1984, Reagan got 525 electoral votes, right? And it's been a steady decline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if Trump gets Texas 38, Florida 29, then it's these other little states. I don't see how he's going.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, Reagan did so well because he had California, right? And he had been governor of California and things like that. So that was an unusual thing. Florida, in a couple of years, Florida is going to become the most populated state. We're already number 2. So the electoral votes are done like the congressional districts, right? They line up the House districts. So we're gaining electoral votes in Florida, and we're going to gain a lot more because of all the migration.
Okay, but still, I don't even know if that's going to help because in 2020 he got 232.
Yeah. Well, then maybe you just shouldn't vote anymore and just forget about it since it's so hopeless.
No, I have to vote.
But you're telling us it's hopeless. Listen, so far as Ron DeSantis, this is the thing about Governor DeSantis. I've been a big, strong supporter of Ron DeSantis. I met Ron DeSantis. We had him at one of our sponsors, Wings Plus, right before the election. But he has betrayed President Trump, and by betraying him, he's betrayed us.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Trump, how does Trump just stop? How does he tell DeSantis he has something on his wife?
Oh.
You hear that? I wouldn't.
I hear. Listen, don't you hear our callers, Steve and I hear stuff about our wives and ourselves all the time. Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. If Ron DeSantis is not stepping up and helping Trump and like he's able to, let me finish, because Donald Trump insulted him, he's just as corrupt as Bragg. You don't give you give equal treatment. You don't give unequal treatment because you don't like someone. So that would make him a corrupt public official too, Ron DeSantis. And Steve, have you noticed we haven't heard from Bob Reich? It's been a week. He reamed me out, and he hasn't called back. You know what I was expecting? I guess so. I guess so. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning. Happy Friday.
Yes.
I'm calling because I want to ask you, did you know the news about the Cash App Dr. Bob Lee, what happened to him in San Francisco?
Oh, the Cash App. I thought you said ketchup for a sec. Yes, the cat. When you said San Francisco, I put it together. Yes.
Did you hear the news that he was still there after moving to me?
Well, yes, and that story's everywhere. But Cash App is a very strange thing. I don't even know how to describe what Cash App is, but there's a lot of money involved in it. And I think people are rushing to judgment on the cause of this guy's death. In a business like he's in, that is a very shady financial business like Cash App is, I think that people should look into it a little bit more before they assume he's just a victim of local crime out of control.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm saying that people are rushing to that conclusion a little too quick, I think.
And supposedly it happened in a good area of San Francisco.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah.
You said that it was a quote unquote, among the good areas.
When someone, okay, Cash App, it's hard for me to explain what it is, okay? But Cash App is an app that you can do financial transactions with. You can even buy like stocks and crypto and stuff with it, and it's a very shady. It's like PayPal, but it's shady. Cash App is a very shady financial app, okay? And there's lots of money into it. And when I see somebody that created that turn up dead out of the blue, and everyone's so quick to blame local crime, but I'm not so quick to blame it on the local crime. Just like these crypto guys that have turned up dead and missing.
It could be. You could be right about that.
I don't know.
He had tweeted a week before that he was traveling to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And which that could also be what you're referring to.
Yeah.
And when he moved to Miami, he posted a picture saying, "Oh, I feel like I'm in Silicon Valley 2001."
Well, the thing it is, one thing that I learned a couple years ago is there's a bunch of weirdo people track you online. And I used to, I'm always live streaming online all the time. And I used to live stream from my house all the time. Sometimes I'd walk my dog and things like this. And then all of a sudden I started getting photographs sent to me of my house and things like this from people. So, I still do all the live streaming and everything that I used to do, but you don't see me walking the dog anymore. You know what I mean? Where people pick up things. They'll see a number on a house and then spend, all kinds of. I was live streaming once, and somebody immediately told me in the chat room where I was. I was like, whoa, and yeah. So, when you're high profile like this guy is, and he's got one up on me because he was loaded. You can't let people know where you're at. But I think it's 50-50. Maybe he was a random victim, but I think it's more likely actually that it had something to do with his business. It's too much.
That these people, liberals, that vote for liberals, run away from the city and the government that they voted for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, listen, we got to run, but good point, good call. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost. Not with Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental.
By the way, guys, do me a favor. Check out that link I pinned in the chat. Okay, it's pinned up there in the chat. Just click it, check it out if you don't mind. Help me out. It probably will, Mike. It probably will. That's Mike from Eagle Eye. He was up at Mar-a-Lago. Mike that was just talking about the concealed weapon, he was up at Mar-a-Lago and at the airport with the president the other day. We missed each other, but hey, it's easy to miss someone you know when there's thousands of people there, right, Mike? Well, thank you. Thank you, Stealth Mode. Yeah, we might need to connect, Mike, because I want to get a new carry weapon, and I want to get something smaller than my Glock 48. Something I can carry with me when I'm on my MAGA scooter after those guys tried to rob me a couple weeks ago. But I still want to have a Glock. I love my Glock. You're welcome to, Mike.
With Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM. Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. Callers on hold. Stand by. You know, I've told you guys for a long time about my Sloman's doorbell camera I have, which I love so much, and I'm very excited because this offer is back. The Sloman's free home security system and free doorbell camera with professional installation offer is back. You can get a free doorbell camera if you're one of the first 40 listeners to call 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. If you're one of the first 40 listeners to call, you're going to get a free doorbell camera. It connects directly to your cell phone with installation of your Sloman's Shield. You'll be able to see your house right from your phone. It's absolutely amazing. You're also going to get free a customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. All right? You get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, which means that's where you get the notification every time there's movement at your door, and that saved my cat. That saved my daughter's cat. My daughter's in California. Cat snuck out. The house cat. I got the notification. The cat was outside the door. I came back home and let her in. I'd have been in big trouble if I would have lost my daughter's cat. 3 arm doors and a backup battery. But you got to be one of the first 40 radio listeners to call 833-283-5050, 833-283-5050 for that free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Again, that's 833-283-5050. All right. You want to go back to the phones? What do you want to do, Steve? All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Helen from Kansas.
Oh, hey, Helen.
I will bless it. Passover, 1 Corinthians 5:7, Christ, our Passover. The blessed Passover. And regarding Donald Trump, God says in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9, the thing that has been, it is that which shall be. So if you don't understand the beginning of God's word, then you're not going to understand the ending. And he has raised up a lot of deliverers, you know, from Moses to David, just, you know, and so, you know, when his children get themselves into a whole lot of trouble, they get themselves in a whole lot of trouble. He raises up people to help deliver them. So I believe that he's raised up Trump.
You know, a lot of people don't realize this because he doesn't wear it on his shoulder, but President Trump is a big time Christian man. Big time Christian man. And I found this out. There was what's the name of the book? He was in the first campaign. He was recommending a book all the time. It was a business book, you know, and it was an older book from like the 60s. I can't remember. Somebody will remember the name of the book or the author. He talked about it all the time, and I went and got the book, and I was shocked that it was a book for Christian businessmen that President Trump was recommending. It shocked me. Donald Trump, I've known who Donald Trump is pretty much my whole life. First time I heard of him, he was on Robin Leach's Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And I remember watching that. And I just assumed a guy that rich and that famous, and he's marketed this New York Playboy Studio 54 kind of image. I was surprised when he was recommending that book for Christian business. If somebody can remember the book, let me know. But he's very, very, very much a Christian. And I like the fact that he doesn't brag about it all the time, like Pence, who's a fake. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian and Steve. It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
Andrea, how are you doing?
I hope that the both of you are blessed on this Easter weekend and everybody for Passover.
Yes.
So, Brian, you were talking about Officer Brandon.
Yes.
I don't know if you happen to catch it, but when you get off the air, look at the footage of Donald Trump walking into the courtroom and that cop let the door slam on him.
Oh, you mean in New York?
Yep. Cop in the white shirt just lets the door slam
On the president.
the courtroom. The president.
You know, this is the thing. I support the police, and most police are great, especially in Florida, where we're in such a conservative state. But police officers are government workers, and like any other government job, it attracts a bunch of liberal jerks as well, especially in New York and places like that.
Well, that's actually not what I'm calling.
Who would let the door slam on anyone, especially the president? There, that's what a low. I'm going to go back and watch that.
Yeah, watch it. It's like 2 seconds of the clip that he literally pushes the door open, lets it slam.
All right, but why'd you call?
I'm going to talk about Joe Biden.
Ugh.
I literally cannot with this guy.
Now, before you do, keep in mind there are children listening. So when you talk about Biden, be careful what you bring up. Don't bring up Tara Reid, for example. The woman he violated.
Nothing to do. Yeah, well, this has nothing to do with that. I feel horrible for these people who suffered through that tornado, but I think it's just really something that Joe Biden went to the site of the tornadoes and still has not been to East Palestine, Ohio. And we cannot let the people of Ohio be forgotten.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is just a disgrace to the country. He's an absolute piece of trash.
And he's a total sleaze. Remember when he was, I was talking the other day, he assaulted, I believe, this very beautiful college graduate at this event last week. I showed the video and talked about it last week. Steve, Biden's at this college graduation, and this girl, and if you've seen him do this before, this girl's black and she's beautiful, right? Biden, she's on Instagram Live or something on her phone. Biden comes up next to her, grabs her, and not only does he kiss her, he puts his whole face and nose in her hair. It was so, and then he smiles at her. He's flirting with her, and you could. And the reason I point out how attractive she is he saw her far away and targeted her and went right to her. If I did that, I'd get arrested. What he did, it was an assault. You know the video I'm talking about? Yeah, that's who the president is. He's a sleaze. You know who he's like? You know who he reminds me of a little bit? He reminds me of Kevin Spacey's character in House of Cards. And in the Kevin Spacey in the American House of Cards was the biggest sexual deviant you could imagine. He was even having sex with his Secret Service agents in a threesome with his wife. Remember, and it's that's who Biden reminds me of. Listen, Andrea, have a great Easter. Callers on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve's here. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be back with your calls after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He saw that girl far away, and did that. Don't you guys think? Because she stands out because she's so beautiful and her hair and everything else. And I'd like to know how far out of his way he went to get to her. And I wouldn't take her reaction as approval. A lot of times people are violated that way and they're in such shock.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a total traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Look out for an earlier cleared accident northbound on I-95 at 6th Avenue South with heavy delays on the approach from Gateway Boulevard. Another accident to look forward to.
I am starving since I did that Anne Marie's commercial.
Traffic is service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. Lots of exciting events and Monster Multi-Flight Tournament, March 30th through April 2nd. This Saturday, watch, wager, and win on exciting OTV action, including the Florida.
I showed it the other day. Let me see if I can find it. It's on my Twitter, but it was days ago. If I can find it on my Twitter, it was days ago. So wait, I tweet so much. I'll look for it and try to show you guys for the end of the show. I'm looking for the video. It's on my Twitter somewhere. I can't remember what day it was, so I got to go through everything I've tweeted all week. It may have even been last week. Andrea's right. This is the video Andrea, the cop in the white shirt, let the door slam on Trump's face. It's this cop. There's the president. Watch. Wow. Did you see that? Andrea was right. The cop, and he's the chief. He's got stars on him. Watch. Wow. Wow. Yeah, Andrea was right.
Electric panel upgrades up to $6,600. And after we reduce your home consumption by 35% or more, you get additional rebate money of $4,000 to $8,000 if you qualify. To find out how much you qualify for, call me 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. Or go to cutmykilowatts.com and fill out the form. Now back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Callers on hold, stand by. Steve, during the break, I went and looked for that video that Andrea was talking about with the officer at the courthouse in New York. You're listening during the breaks. Okay, yeah. And if you guys go and look at this video, I was so upset about the president being arrested. I didn't notice the officer, he's like the chief of the bailiffs, right? And he walks through the door. President Trump is behind him. He let the door slam on the president's face, and he didn't even apologize or try to reopen it for him. It is just I mean, I don't know. Is that passive aggressive or is that just aggressive? I don't know, Steve. I don't know how you would describe that, but that's okay. Now, I'd be, if you're on hold, stand by. I wanted to mention something to you, Steve. So, an old time listener got in touch with me, and they have an old tape of you, which they're going to try to get to me from the old 1400 WFTL. And you had in studio their father as a guest in studio. See, this is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida. Many of the listeners to this program are the children and grandchildren of the original Steve Kane listener. Okay, we're multi-generational here in our listening audience. You know, they pass it down. And he was a listener and a caller, and there used to be something that we used to do that we have not done in a long time, and I don't know if it's a good idea. And I probably should talk to you about this off the air, but I'm going to ask you on the air. You remember we'd have callers that would take issue with us, and then we would invite them in as guests to confront us face to face. And those were some exciting shows, and I'm looking forward to hearing that old show because I don't remember it offhand, but maybe when I hear it, I'll remember the show. I don't know. Is that something we should bring back, or are things too heated these days to trust some of these liberals to come into the radio station? Yeah, but you're not here in person. You're at the remote studio in Cooper City. I'll be here alone. And you'll just be here connected to us. It's easy for you to say, well, it's something to think about, but that's something we used to do that was a lot of fun. And we had some, this is the difference though, Steve, about that. And this is an important point to make, okay? Democrats were different then than they are now. Democrats were always liberal jerks, okay, on all the issues. Affirmative action, they were always anti-Israel, support abortion. They were always liberal on all the issues, but you could have a conversation with them and even debate them. Now, they're like liberals are like militant and escalate and escalate and escalate. You can't. It's very difficult to have a gentleman-like discussion with a Democrat these days. They've become so militant. So I don't know if it's a good idea to do such a thing. That's true. That's true. And by the way, Liberal Al, do not take this as an invite. You will never be in studio again. I talked Steve into that. Oh, I talked Steve into that once, and you didn't want to do it. And I bugged you, and you said, okay, bring him in, just so I'd leave you alone. And you were right. That was a big mistake, bringing that guy in studio. Big mistake, Liberal. Yes, that's correct. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike. Brian, we just missed each other the other day. You're right.
Oh yeah, Mike was at Mar-a-Lago and at the airport with Trump Force One, and we missed each other because it's easy to miss people when there's thousands there, right, Mike?
Exactly, and of course everyone was rioting too. That's what.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, you might want to really rethink what you just said, especially with the new CCW law coming into effect. I think it's July 1st. That's bad decision for many reasons.
Well, let me tell people what you're talking about. Okay, what Mike's talking about is Ron DeSantis signed a bill into law in secret earlier this week. He didn't want to offend his liberal supporters. Starting July 1st in the state of Florida, you will be able to carry a weapon concealed if you're legally allowed to possess a firearm without a permit or without training. And Mike thinks that's a terrible idea. Why is that?
It's a terrible idea, especially if you're going to invite liberals to your office, because you're not going to know who's carrying a gun. And the problem is this: you're going to have people pulling a weapon out for just any reason, and they're not justified. It's going to be a serious problem for the people that actually went through training to get their CCW. And then here's the big thing: sooner or later, especially in liberal areas such as Palm Beach County, most, if not all, your businesses are going to start posting signs, no weapons allowed. Even though under 790 you're allowed to carry it in, say, the public store, whatever have you, they're going to put a sign up, and you're not going to be able to defend yourself at that time when needed. So it's a bad.
Well, first off, you know, for a business to put up a sign saying no guns, it sounds like an invitation to the bad guys, doesn't it?
Exactly. And God forbid if something does happen that bit and you were allowed to protect yourself and carry on that property, they're going to be sued. Okay. Trust me, I would be the first. But you know, you're going to have people carrying weapons that have no clue. I see it at the gun range. I had a lady, I'm going to make it really fast because I know you got other callers. I had a lady ask me how to load a revolver. And I said,
oh my goodness.
CCW course. And she goes, oh, I have my CCW license. And
oh my goodness.
The revolver, the easiest gun in the world. And she couldn't even open the cylinder. So it's a bad. I wish that DeSantis would just veto that bill for many reasons.
Well, I know a lot of people are against this, but I was really hoping for open carry. I wanted open carry for a number of reasons. One, it's you know who's carrying. That's one, which I like. And I always tell people this, and people think this is so stupid, but Florida weather, it doesn't allow me to wear the clothes that would be able to, where I could conceal a weapon easily. Like these guys, like I was almost robbed a couple weeks ago. I was almost robbed on my scooter by these two guys that were trying to roll me. And, you know, it's hard to conceal a weapon when you're in a Hawaiian shirt and shorts on a scooter in Florida. But if I could keep it on my hip open, I would have, you know, I would have been armed, you know, and
the way as well.
Yeah.
With a deterrent to crime. But, you know, I mean, think of this. You're still going to have to wait 5 days to buy a gun. It's going to be worth it. I mean, if you have a permit, obviously you don't have to wait. But for those who travel out of state, you're not going to be able to travel to other states that recognize our CCW permits without one. So there are many good reasons to having mainly
the training. See, this is the thing. When with the concealed weapon permit laws, and a weapon has to be concealed, and if you can see the outline under your clothing of a gun, it's not concealed. And people don't know unless they take concealed weapon training that's good, how to properly conceal a gun and where you can legally have it and not. And the concealed carry without any rules, regulations, or training is going to lead to a lot of trouble. I will agree with you on that. Yeah.
W permits, they're going to be in danger of losing them because of people out there that don't know what to do or how to do it or when to do it. And the big thing is when to do it. And we talked about that a long time ago because you just can't pull a gun and point it at someone when it's not justified.
Yeah.
Third-degree felony, aggravated assault.
That's right. See, my advice is get in your car and drive away if you can. Don't even touch the gun. You know, the gun is, to me, is a last resort of survival. Yeah. All right, Mike. Good to hear from you. Take care. Take care. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Sam.
Yes, Sam.
Yes. The guy that called earlier, it said it's not possible. Marty the watchdog is long gone. Marty the watchdog, gone.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. You know, I think that caller is there, Steve. I think that was Lurch. I think that was Lurch on the phone. Really? You know, there's a chronic caller that Steve calls him Lurch because he looks like Lurch from the Addams Family, and he's a little strange. I haven't heard from him in a while. I thought we got rid of him. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Tom, Florida.
Hey, Tom.
What's going on?
Not much.
The permit, the concealed whole thing with Florida and everything is a very bad idea. Homicide rates will go up, and you ask basically every police officer in Florida, which you shouldn't ask the citizens, you should ask the police officers on what they think about this matter, and they say it's an absolutely horrible idea. They will.
Well, I'm not really interested. I'm not really interested in what police officers think. I mean, police officers. Like, remember those police officers in New York that arrested Jews because there were too many Jews in the house during the lockdowns? Remember that? I really don't go to the government to find things. You know, the police are fine and all, but but police are after the fact. Okay, after you're After you're a victim, then you call the police.
Well, also too, I mean, it's not, police don't just respond to, you know, they also walk up on crimes that happen.
How many guns do you own? How many guns do you own?
That's none of your business, Brian.
Do you own guns? Do you own guns?
I might or might not. That's none of your.
What kind of guns do you have? Just one of them.
Wow. So okay. So let's just get this going.
Oh, so why don't you just tell the truth that you don't own any guns?
Oh man. Okay. So
no, the reason this is important is because you don't own any guns, and you're anti-gun. And just be honest. Don't try to say, hey, listen, I'm a liberal. I don't support the Second Amendment, and I don't own guns.
Opinion. Well, you know what? I guess for an individual who doesn't, you're probably not around much. You got role played today. I see you almost got rolled the other day. I guarantee you that's a bunch of BS.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I wish it was.
I believe it. I believe it.
So I didn't hear. So you are a liberal who doesn't support the Second Amendment, and you don't own guns, right?
I have a gun.
What? Tell me about it. What kind of gun is it? What kind of gun is it?
Oh my, Brian.
Like I have many guns. I have a Glock 48. I have a 38 ultralight, which I love. I've had for many years. I've got some other guns too. What gun do you have?
And for an individual to
Wait, excuse me. What kind of gun do you keep for home protection?
law enforcement.
What type of gun do you keep for personal protection? I'm curious.
Fine. It's a small 6-shooter revolver.
What kind? What kind of 6-shooter? What kind of 6-shooter?
Smith and Wesson.
A Smith and Wesson what? Oh my goodness! The first time of the week. I hope the delay worked. You get the Mike's not here today. We have Jeremy's filling in for Mike today, so a Smith and Wesson 6-shooter. Oh my goodness, that was an SOS because he he doesn't even know what kind of gun he has. Smith and Wesson's a brand. I mean, my goodness, that's just typical of a liberal. All right. See what I mean about not having liberal? We can't invite liberals in studio anymore, Steve, like it used to be. They're just they're not gentlemen anymore. You can't have a discussion with a liberal. All right. If you're on hold, well, and look what they do, right? They pull things like that. You think I could have that guy in studio? I don't think so. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our last break of the week and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve.
All right. And this will be exciting because we're finishing out an exciting week in the metals. And we check in with William Youngerman every morning at this time from William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. How's the end of the week looking for the metals, William Youngerman?
Well, the metals are closed today, but we are making market, and they held up very nicely, although gold took a little bit of a dip yesterday, down $12.40 after trading as high as 2022. We went down, we tested the support of $2,000 gold, and it held nicely and ended up closing at $2,007.60. That was down $12.40, but above the 1,200 support that we're finding is building up for gold. I keep saying 1,200, I mean 2,000. $2,000 gold support, and that is very significant for next week going forward. I think we could actually possibly test or the old highs on gold, which were around $2,060. If we break through that, we're on our way to my predicted numbers for this year of $2,300 for gold. So
wow.
See what happens there, but again, gold $2,007.60 on the close yesterday. Silver closed out today at $24.97. That was up 7 cents. High was $25.10. Platinum gained $8 yesterday, closing at $1,007, and palladium gained $41.
I don't know why he lied. I was going to ask him some questions about his gun. I'm not going to tell you guys what they were, but
the markets are closed, as I said. But we will be using pretty much the market makers will be using $2,010 to $2,013 for gold. Silver will be trading around $25 today. Platinum around $1,010 to $1,018, and palladium between $1462 and $1487. So it gives you an idea. If you're thinking about buying metals today, we will be open until 5 o'clock, and those are probably the price ranges that you'll be.
So it sounds like a good day to buy. Now, let me ask you, William, because you've been talking, gold and silver has been in such high demand. A lot of gold sellers, not William Youngerman's, but a lot of gold sellers around America are out of metals. Are there any, when it comes to gold, when it comes to silver, because of the high demand, are there any type of particular gold and silver products that people should be looking to buy that may be short on supply down the road? Oh, did we lose him? I'm sorry, William, I lost you. You back with us? Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, we lost you for a second. What I was asking you, you've been telling us about the high demand. Some dealers around America, not you, but a lot of dealers are out of the metals. Because of the high demand, are there any particular type of gold or silver coins that people might want to buy now that may be short on supply down the road?
Practically every one of the manufacturers are seeing delays now. So I would suspect that you just pick your favorite products, the best ones closest to the spot price of the metals, and have a great time while you can, because there may be a day when nobody is able to get.
Wow, this is some of the highest demand in gold and silver that I've ever seen. I know there were some supply problems during COVID, but this is a demand supply problem because the demand is really insanely high, which is a good thing and a good time to buy. All right, now William Youngerman is open today, regular hours starting at 10 a.m. His number, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, online at williamyoungerman.com. Or stop right in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building. All right, have a happy Easter, William Youngerman, and we'll talk next week.
Thank you, Noah, and you too.
All right, take care. Back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
All righty, we are back. Now, Steve, you hear that? We're going to be hitting record highs in the gold, and it's exciting. I know. I tell people when William Youngerman joined us, gold was $435 an ounce, and now we're over 2,000 today. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, guys. You know who it is.
Oh,
Times at 3 different studios. So
no, I invited you once. The other studios, I didn't do the inviting, but I'll speak for this. The time I invited you was a big mistake. Big mistake. Well, then I blocked out one of them.
oh yeah, I blocked out too. Anyway,
Listen, if the point you're making is that I have made mistakes in my broadcasting career, I could not agree with you more. The biggest mistakes I ever made was having any association with you being inside of a radio station.
well, how about the great breakfast at Lester's Diner after your 30-something show?
The show was called 20-something, and I invited anyone in the listening audience to come and join me for breakfast, not just you. Oh my, enough! Oh my goodness, that's like stalkerish. When we do an appearance, we invite everyone, but he thinks it's a personal invite. Oh my goodness, I got to end that call, Steve. That's scary. Good morning. I don't want to be an ID special. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, good morning.
Yes.
Yes, my name is Terry. I'm from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how you doing, Brian and Steve?
We're great.
What really bothered me when the woman started talking about Trump being biblical. But I thought to myself, I said, yeah, he's biblical, but he ain't with Christ. He's not a holy person. He's more like a devil. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Slow down. I'm so glad that you've called here at the end of the show. You say that Trump is like a devil. Can you give me an example of his devilish-like behavior?
Well, first of all, he has a statue of himself, an idol god.
Uh-huh.
Said he let this God.
He has a statue of himself. But okay, the statue is he did not. Someone made that statue and donated it to Mar-a-Lago. But you're a caller of color, right? You're African American, black. Okay. One of the things that President Trump did as president of the United States was we had the highest rate under his first term. We had the highest rate of employment for African Americans in the history of the United States of America. You must agree that was a good thing, right?
Okay, but we also had division.
No, excuse me. That was a good thing, right?
You had people.
He can't even admit, Steve, that the highest rate of employment for blacks in this country under Donald Trump was a good thing. You can't even say it.
If they kill black people, if they're shooting black people.
If they're shooting black people, what black person did Trump shoot? Who did Trump shoot?
He was in office. There was a lot of killing black men.
Okay. So this is interesting. So Donald Trump is responsible for murders by Americans while he was president. So you must believe that Joe Biden is responsible for those 3 9-year-olds who were murdered by that transgender shooter in Nashville. Is that Biden's fault?
Whoever put guns in these idiots' hands to cause them people, you know what I mean?
Who had a gun because Trump put it in their hands?
That's been going on for years. But see, the thing is, now they got a law. You said about the law they're going to pass, giving everybody guns. You know, you can get a gun, you can get a gun. But the thing is, it's going to cause more. If Trump get in office, they're going to start killing more black.
Really?
The nation. He divides. He divides the people.
Yeah.
As white against black. And if you got a lot of white people that got more guns than blacks. And so you got
really, if white people have more guns than blacks, why does Chicago have such a high rate of murders of blacks by blacks with guns?
Well, Trump getting off.
Excuse me. You say that whites have more guns than blacks, doing more wrong with blacks. Why is there so much black on black handgun murder in Chicago? At Democrat Town.
Plain and simple.
What?
But
he's got to whisper that one. Notice he whispers Chicago.
No, I'm not whispering. I said ignorance. I said because ignorant people, when you place a gun in ignorant people's hands.
Yeah, but Chicago is a city that's been run by Democrats for half a century. They just elected a commie mayor. So what are the Democrats doing to stop the murder of black men and women of all ages in Chicago by other blacks with these guns?
Well, it's been going on even with the Republicans. The same thing been going on. It's been going on for years. See, we're in the time of the apocalypse.
Republicans haven't controlled Chicago in the modern era. It's been controlled by Democrats since before you and I were born. Okay? So will you not agree that the Democrats are allowing blacks to be murdered by other blacks due to handgun violence in Chicago?
It was doing in Trump.
Trump didn't run Chicago as a local municipality.
So you're telling me that there was no killings as long as Trump was president?
What I'm telling you is that Trump was president of the United States, not the mayor of Chicago.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that now they're giving people guns and they put it in the hands of white people. And guess what? It's going to be.
Wait a minute. They're giving guns away to white people? Where? I could use a new gun. Where can I go get this free gun put in my hand? No, hold on. You say they're giving guns for free to white people. Can you tell me where this is? Because I could use a new gun, especially if it's free.
They don't have.
They don't have. Okay. Thank you for your call. Oh, my goodness. Very confused guy there, Steve. I wanted to, if you're on hold, stand by. I want to tell everyone about this incredible train tour through the Great Canadian Rockies on the Rocky Mountaineer Train from August 15th through the 20th. And this is beautiful. This is just a beautiful train. You know, the train, it's a 2-story train, Steve, and the top of it has a glass dome. And as you're going through Canada from east to west, You get incredible views as you pass through tunnels, across the Continental Divide, go through the canyons, go through the mountain passes. It's absolutely beautiful. The trip ends in Vancouver. To learn all about this trip, go to briantrain.com, briantrain.com, and request a brochure at briantrain.com. This is a perfect tour, by the way, for anyone who loves a great view, enjoys nature, loves trains, loves adventure, and just want to see breathtaking landscapes that you will never see in a way like this ever again. So go to briantrain.com, request a brochure, and this is going to be a great trip through the Great Canadian Rockies. And by the way, the Rocky Mountaineer is the only train that goes completely from east to west across all of Canada, and it's beautiful. You can look it up online. I have, and it was blow your mind. It's briantrain.com and request a brochure. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Steve from Boca.
Hey, Boca.
How are you, Brian?
They arrested Donald Trump on Monday. I'm not doing too well.
I know. I got to tell you, that last caller is an absolute idiot. And I'll tell you why. And I don't use that word lightly, and I normally wouldn't use it, but it's very appropriate. And here's why. You made a great point in saying how Trump has done great things for Black people, done great things for a lot of people. But Black people, many of them are honest and many of them are dishonest. You had a caller much earlier today. I forget his name. He was wonderful, Black man. Wonderful. I wish he was running for office. This guy you just had can't look himself in the mirror and be honest, because Trump was president 2 years ago, and he's blaming Trump for gun violence today. When in the last 2 years, gun violence in this country being done by Blacks, by whites, by everybody, on Blacks, on whites, has increased many-fold. And that has nothing to do with Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Idiots can't admit that.
Well, with the two callers, with the two different callers, the big difference between the two of them is one is a winner and productive member of society, and the other one's a loser bum. The guy that called earlier has got a life, a job, a career, a family. He's got skin in the game. This guy is just a bum. Yeah, this other guy is a loser, and as opposed to saying, "Hey, listen, I'm a loser because of all these choices I've made," he's chosen to blame his skin color. You know what I mean? That's what that is.
Pathetic to this idiot, because these are the guys that, while you think you can't change their mind, somehow we've got to try to get through to them, because they're a very
well. Listen, we're out of time for the week, but I'll say this: listening to this program can do that. Anytime Steve and I do an appearance, I meet a listener who used to be a liberal who's a conservative now. I hear this, and Steve will tell you, we hear that all the time just by listening to this program. Thanks for the call. All right, that's it for us for the week. If you're on hold, well, stand by. We'll be back Monday, and if you stay on hold, you'll be first in line on Monday at 6 a.m. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Steve, of course, is here as well. God bless America. Happy Easter, and God bless Donald Trump.
WNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
All right, guys, I got to run. Thanks for watching.